was cardio coming here. That was crazy.
Well, that's good.
That was some good cardio.
You came from Penn Station?
Did, yeah. Check, check, check. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, that means you're now tuned into chapter 94 of the Introverted Intuition podcast. My name is Jeff, a.k.a. the Petty Podcaster, a.k.a. the Ambitious Introverts. As always, I have my two favorite ladies with me, Miss Coco and Lainey. Say what's up, y'all.
Hello, y'all.
Hola.
CR was stressed out, right? That was the thing.
Yeah, he was a little stressed today, so he got the
It's
night
like a
off.
mental health day.
Pray for CR, y'all. He's fine, I'm sure, but it's rough out there for that guy.
Word.
Today we have a special guest, someone who I'm very excited to speak to, hoping to get some advice at the end of this interview and provide you, the listeners, with some advice as well in terms of fitness and just health and wellness and all that. So please introduce yourself to the people.
Hey guys, it's Cleopatra Lee. I'm here with Introverted Intuition. Oh, I stuttered. Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I'm really excited to talk about what we got to talk about today.
Have you done like a podcast before?
I've done one once, and it was like a sports podcast, so very different.
Yeah, I don't think we talk about much sports on this podcast. I don't think ever.
If at all.
Yeah, I'm not into sports like that.
Good.
Yeah.
Nothing against sports,
Right,
but
you know.
We're not here for that.
How long ago was that?
Probably about like a year ago.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you've done interviews probably like in between then, like?
Not like podcast interviews, but like I've done a lot of talking in the last year for sure. A lot of panels and things like that.
So could you give like an elevator pitch to describe to our listeners exactly what you do?
Okay. So guys, I am a influencer and a personal trainer. I teach classes in New York City. I run a business called Cleopatra's Army, and we preach health, fitness, and positivity, specifically to people of color. But, you know, it's really for everybody.
But not really.
I also do fitness modeling, and I'm really into health and fitness, and I'm really into, you know, getting it into lower income communities and just making sure people understand that a healthy diet is really for everybody and attainable for anyone. You just got to know how to do it the right way.
That's extremely selfless. Did that start like as just you working on yourself and then it turned into the business, or how did this start?
This started because, I grew up in a very, health-oriented family, and, I grew up vegetarian for the most part, maybe pescatarian. Nice. And so we took our health very, very seriously to the point where, it was kind of annoying. And so, for a few years, I stopped eating healthy. That's when I started, eating, junk food, lots of fried chicken. I was eating a lot of Popeyes, McDonald's for dinner. That was my thing. And then maybe 2 years into that, I was like, whoa, my body's different. I feel different. Even just my mood was different. So then I slowly started about the age of 18, 19, I started to get back into my health and fitness tip. And then I was like, wow, this really is so important. And it really does, affect more than just the way you look. It's the way you feel, the way you think. It's so important. Then I got back into it, and I wanted to make sure that everybody, understood it, because I feel especially, I grew up in Harlem, so I feel especially in communities like that, or predominantly black, you don't see a lot of people, maybe there's a lot of sports involved, like basketball, but there's not a lot of focus on health and diet. So I really wanted to preach that, because they're in Harlem before, now 125th Street has a Whole Foods, but we had things like food deserts where it's hard to get lots of healthy food in your neighborhood.
Right.
So. Yeah, that's why I do this.
Are you still pescatarian, vegetarian? Or?
Yeah, so no, actually.
Oh.
So I found a way to create a diet for myself that I enjoy. So I won't eat meat often, but when I allow myself, once in a while.
Moderation. That's what I've been telling people about. Moderation.
Everything in moderation,
everybody
right?
just want to go vegan and
So I
figure
can
you need these things sometimes too.
I can have Popeyes once a week.
No.
Or once every 2 weeks? Once a month?
See, now that's the
processed
thing.
food.
Yeah. We're trying to stay away from the fast food and the processed food. Now, when I say meat, I'm giving you leeway to cook at home. You want to make some steak at home, okay?
Right. I've actually been cleaning up my diet recently. For the past 2 weeks, actually, but nothing but grilled chicken and broccoli. It's getting kind of annoying eating that over and over again. You kind of get into a routine of eating the same things. Could you give some advice to people who are trying to start meal prepping and all that, and want to spice up their, I guess, meals a bit.
Because even that's not good, right? Like eating the same thing, even if it's somewhat healthy, eating the same thing, really, you're not getting, the nutrients and things that you need, I would think.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely need to switch it up. And it's just really about, like, doing your research. But here I am today to give you some tips. So, like, I think one problem people have is that you think healthy food is, like, that's literally, like, chicken, a little bit of grilled chicken, some broccoli, and, like, maybe potatoes or rice. No, there's so many things you can go into. There's, like, I don't know, just an example of, like, trendy things like quinoa and kale and, like, even eating avocados. Like, there's so many, like, different ways you can get, like, healthy fats and things into your diet where you don't just have to eat, like, broccoli and grilled chicken. Definitely, for those of you who want to meal prep, I would suggest, like, okay, so the day you're going to do it, just ahead of time in the morning, like, look up some healthy recipe plans, especially if you're not a chef. I mean, there's so many things you can do that doesn't require too much out of you because this food is not processed. That, like, it's a lot easier than you think. I can give you an example of something that I like to eat for sure. So my go-to when I meal prep sometimes salmon. I love spinach and brown rice. Same. So those are, like, 3 things, and it's, like, very balanced.
That's your go-to meal.
Yeah, that's like when I'm meal prepping, that's my go-to. And one thing I also want to mention is that you want more greens than protein. So a lot of times I see people's plate and it's like this huge chunk of salmon and then like a little small thing of spinach and like then you got whatever else on the side. Yeah. No, you want to like keep a smaller portion size of salmon and then make the greens bigger and the carbs or whatever you're deciding to eat bigger.
My metabolism is so fast, like that's why I have like bigger portions of what I have, like giving that example of like a large amount of salmon, and I also have an equal amount, large amount of like broccoli, spinach, whatever, because my metabolism is so fast. Is that something you could like work on, like to maybe not slow it down, but control how much you eat?
The portion size,
like yeah. So that
like not overeating, I guess.
Okay, so it's funny. I just had a class, and at the end of my class, a nutritionist came, and she talked to us about this because that was actually something a young woman brought up. So what she suggested was making the meals smaller, but eating more often throughout the day.
Right.
So what I used to tell my clients was like, okay, lunch has to be your biggest meal of the day, blah, blah, blah. But actually, this nutritionist came in and schooled us a little bit. So like, if you have an issue with like your metabolism or like you want to eat all the time, so then she said just cut down the meal sizes and eat more often throughout the day. So that means involves a lot of snacking. Like, so you said fast metabolism. Okay, so one healthy fat that I like love to snack on are nuts. So like different kinds of things like that. Like peanuts, my salted peanuts, I love those. Okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and even like another healthy avocados. So like even if you make it yourself, like mash up some guacamole, you can eat that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it's
there's
good
a lot
fat.
there's a lot of ways to like break it down throughout the day.
Granola is like my go-to. I just get the best. I don't know if that's like even good. Like
I would think it is if like you put it together yourself as opposed to like the store-bought granola, which is nothing wrong with that because I'm sure there are a lot of healthy ones. But I would think like if you have a particular mix, you know what I mean, like cranberries or whatever. I don't even know if that's good, but like you put it together yourself, I would think that's like a better option, maybe, right?
I should have came to you this whole time. Thank you. You got all the keys. Can we rewind a bit though, because you have all this information and like, how did you gain it? Did you study it online? Did you go to school? Like, how did you get this information?
So, like I mentioned before, I grew up in like a family who really cared a lot about this, and so also my dad is a personal trainer.
Nice.
I have to share that with people.
Oh,
so
you're following in his footsteps. He must be so proud.
So definitely, so I learned a lot from him, and then also I had to become a certified personal trainer. So I guess what I know from fitness, I know from there. And then what I know from health is mostly like research and just like, I love to read.
Right.
It's really important to me. You guys better be reading. So I learned this from books. And also, like I said, sometimes I go to classes or panels and then there's a nutritionist there. There's somebody else there who's been in the field longer, a doctor, whatever. So yeah, just listening and reading is really what's giving me the health perspective.
And was it your dad that kind of influenced you to start your own business as well, or did that come with the territory? Like,
yeah, actually, like as much as I hate to admit, he definitely did. He definitely was like, when I was younger, he's like, I don't really want you to learn how to work for someone else. He's like, you need to be working for yourself eventually. Like, you don't need a job. He's like, you need to work for yourself. You need to learn and understand that.
That's beautiful. I feel like that wasn't implanted in me, like that.
Yeah,
that sense of like independence. I had to learn that. And I think that's important. That should be implant that in our kids, like Like,
to strive to like you work for yourself, you know.
Yeah, because like I feel like some people who like who are in a 9 to 5 now, like they try to get out of that, they would struggle a bit in the independent field a bit.
It's a hard transition.
Maybe.
It is. I mean, it really. I feel like that really depends on who you are, because I've seen some people like balance working their 9 to 5, and then you call it like a 5 to 9. So after you get off of work, then you do work on like your side job that eventually turns into like full on entrepreneurship. But I think if you convince yourself mentally that you have the time for both, it can work. That transition.
Right.
But yeah, for those of you who didn't grow up in like a household, like, because like on the other side, my mom, was not like, oh, you need to be an entrepreneur or whatever. She was like, oh no, get a job, kind of thing. So
play it safe.
Were you at that crossroads ever where you thought about you had like another interest in another field and you thought about getting an actual job, or was it always just fitness and health?
Well, for a while, I always had like a side job. You know what I mean? Like even when I first started personal training, like I always had like I was like hostessing for a long time, and even now, even though I work full time doing like all the fitness stuff, I still like have a side marketing thing that I do for this company, just because like it's something I enjoy and it's easy for me to do, and it's also like it's almost a passive income for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I feel like, right now it's just easy to have like 2 things going on at once. So even though I am a full-time entrepreneur technically, I still have that little other thing where I'm technically working for someone else in a way, but I still have full control, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. And it's funny, I actually forgot to mention in the beginning of the podcast that I was actually following you prior on my personal page, because I like to follow a lot of people who are involved in fitness and health just to get some inspiration so I don't ever slack on my own. And I was actually following you. So you actually kind of inspired me to actually clean up my diet a bit.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So thank you for that. Like, so like, how did you gain a following? Because I mean, I can't really recall how I came across your page, but like, was it like a certain video? Did you put up a certain weight and people were like, oh shit, she's mad strong?
This is so funny, because like I feel like I get asked this question a lot, and like I can kind of trace it back to like where I like first started. It's kind of weird, but so like on Tumblr, way back when that was really popular, I used to run track in high school, so I posted this like photo of me after practice one day, like in some leggings, and like it went viral. And like, cause like somebody, you know what I mean? And then like after that, people started following me. I think initially because I was cute, and then eventually people started like, oh, this girl actually has something going on up in her head.
Right.
Okay. And then, I started to like steer everybody to like, okay, yeah, I'm cute, but also fitness, also health. And then like, that's when I started kind of trickle in. And then I started, doing a lot more modeling and fitness modeling. Right. I started working with Nike, and I think that's when the following started to really like big up.
And Cleopatra's Army is the name of your business. Is that what you call your followers as well?
So I call them Cleopatra's Army soldiers, pretty much. Yeah.
So they seem pretty loyal from what I can see. Mm-hmm. They may be watching this by the time this is out. Are they the equivalent to the Beehive, where they'll send death threats? You ask you the wrong question. Because I was super nervous going to this, because like I don't want any death threats. I don't want Cleopatra's Army to come at me.
No. It's like really, honestly, Cleopatra's Army is really like. It's mostly women who are just, looking for motivation, and some men too. So it makes me really happy that you said, like, I inspired you to clean up your diet. Who are just looking for, that daily motivation. I'm trying to give it to them, and just like, different ways for them to understand that a healthy lifestyle is supposed to fit you, and it's not supposed to mimic mine. It's not supposed to mimic whoever else's. You know what I mean? It's right. For you. So that's really who the Army is.
Yeah. You good over there? Oh. You guys are actually relatively thin. That I actually like kind of analyze y'all. Are y'all like on a diet as well? Like,
no, I eat as much as I try to.
Really?
Try to eat everything in sight. Yeah, it's always been. I have kidney issues, so it's always been hard for me to like gain weight. But that leads me to one of my questions I had: how can somebody who's like trying to maintain their weight but wants to also maybe bulk up a little bit with a bit of muscle? What would be like some go-to things as far as like meal plans, or like not even meal plans, but just like things that they can stay with like consistently? Like you said, salmon and like lean chicken and things like that. Like I guess something along those lines.
Yeah, definitely. So if you want to like maintain and gain, so you definitely want to like bulk up on the protein and also the healthy fats and carbs. So like things that are gonna like
stick to your bones.
Yeah, put a little more weight on you. And just to keep in mind that protein doesn't always have to be a meat or a fish. You can find protein in other things. Like there's this one company that like sends you like a bunch of like protein shakes for like breakfast, and like that, like it starts out as your breakfast, and there's enough in it, there's enough nutrients and stuff in it to keep you going until your next meal.
That's my big thing, like trying to stay satisfied between meals, because I tend to snack all day, and I snack pretty well, but it's like between morning and lunch, I'm just straight eating. And it's like, you know, I tend to burn it off really quick. So it's like whatever I can do, like you said, smoothies and things like that. I think would be a good idea.
But snacking, honestly, snacking isn't bad. Like it has a bad, like it has a bad reputation. But like it does, if you snack the right way, it's totally fine. You know, like you mentioned before, just everything in moderation. And you know, just understanding like, okay, even though this thing says healthy, all natural, is it really? Yeah. You know what I mean? Just like, I think a lot of people don't do research on your food, but it's so important to do that. You know, like this is going into your body. This is feeding your brain. This is feeding your heart. It's feeding everything.
It's like fuel for your body, you know?
People don't read the nutritional facts ever.
I do.
I read it all the time now because I'm paranoid. Yeah. And by the way, you talk about you snack all the time. I've never seen you pull a snack out of your purse once while you're here.
I have cookies in my bag right now and a salad.
Oh, you've been holding out.
She don't want to share.
Yeah. Talking
I'm
about
greedy
you
as
snack
hell.
all day. Where the snacks at?
I'm greedy as hell.
So it kind of seemed like when I mentioned your following, it seemed like you kind of got that pretty fast, right? Was it kind of unexpected, do you think? Would you say?
No, you know, and I don't want to say it was fast, because another thing was this started kind of like, I started getting on like social media when I was like 16, 17, right. And I'm 23 now. I just turned 23, so like I feel like it's been a while coming. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, you know, I took some breaks. I wasn't always consistent. I think I finally kind of found like. I think I finally kind of understood like my content and like what I should be posting and like how to, you know, communicate what I want to communicate to my followers. I think I finally understood that now. Before it was just like, oh, I'm posting this picture because I'm cute. You know what I mean? Now there's like more of a purpose to it. So I don't think it was quick. I think it took some time, you know what I mean, to like kind of understand it. But
was there like any initial like anxiety? Like you see the followers going up every day. Like did you feel like, oh shit, I kind of have like a bigger responsibility now to be this certain, to have this persona online and to help these people get through their day? Like, did you feel any pressure with that?
At first I did. At first I used to care too much. You know what I mean? I think that's another problem. A lot of people who were like, you know, how was that? Around like the age of 19, I was freaking out about it. Okay. And I think it was just because, not even because I felt like I had a responsibility to like my followers, but mostly because I'm like, well, how am I going to keep this up? Like, I can't, like now I have this like, you know, people have this idea of me, like I have to maintain it. But now I've kind of understood that like it's all about, you know, being real and putting out what you want to put out and doing what you want to do at the end of the day. And like, you know, understanding that as long as it's the right thing, it's okay. The likes don't matter, the following doesn't matter. You will have real people who like support you if you just stay consistent and kind of just like, you know, you're genuine. Yeah. And I think that was like really important for me to understand, because I did feel pressure at first. Once I started kind of understand that like it doesn't matter. What really matters is like the people who follow you in real life, the people who are really going to come out to these events and like, you know,
show up to classes.
Exactly. Show up to classes, you know, support your product, purchase your product, that kind of thing.
Is there like a separation between who Cleopatra is in real life and versus online? Like, because you have to kind of pitch yourself a certain way to certain brands if you want to work with them. Is there like a clean difference between the two, or is it pretty much just you overall?
I think that it's me overall, but like it's like the abridged version of me. Like you're not gonna see like, you know, everything I do when I go out with my friends, or like, you know, all the like ratchet behind the scenes, whatever. But you know, you will see like you know, the important things, the things that I feel like are necessary to share, which is, you know, like I said, health and fitness. But also sometimes like me having fun with my friends is important. I want people to understand like, yeah, I am normal.
You're a normal
you know,
person,
yeah, like, you know.
I think that's good though, because like they won't, because like I think a lot of kids these days like they want to achieve like that large following, and they feel like you have to be this special person to get that. But no, you could just be yourself and you can make it. And I think that's what we need to really push that message forward, because like having a large following really isn't everything at the end of the day.
It isn't, yeah.
That's true.
I also felt like it's very important that people understand that I'm Black as hell. So like I do use the lingo. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of brands sometimes they're like hesitant to work with people like, yeah, I go to parties, I twerk. Like I am like, you know, like I do what I am like completely involved in my culture and unapologetic for it, you know?
Do you have a favorite like word to use like in terms of our lingo?
Oh, I don't know.
That's like mad on the spot,
yeah,
but like I don't know. Like,
I don't know. Like I don't know. I say sis a lot.
Sis.
Me and all my friends say sis a lot. Yeah.
I be saying that too, actually, to my boys, actually.
Sis is like a pet peeve of mine. Like,
Damn.
especially like if I don't know you like that, like, bitch, do not sis me. Like, don't sis me. Like, sis, like, excuse me, ho. Like,
that seems like kind of like shady. Like,
you know what it is? It kind of is. Like, there is a way you can use sis in the most shadiest way, and it has been done to me. And I'd be like, hold up, bitch. Like, excuse me. That's like a Jamaican when they tell you, like, yeah, like, there's certain things you have to look for. So sis can be definitely used in a shady way. So when people, with females who I do not know, call me sis, I'm always going to side-eye you because it's just like, especially the way, the tone you use.
I was exactly about to say the same thing, the tone, yes.
So if it's just like, oh, hey, sis, you're like, look at you, sis. I'm
you could sense the positivity,
But you'd be like, sis, like, bitch. Like, don't like, just say bitch. Like, we ain't got to say sis.
Wait, are you going to our event tomorrow?
Why wouldn't I go?
No, I'm just asking because if someone comes up to you and says like, "Yo, what's up, sis?" Like,
so
the tone,
what's gonna happen?
the tone. She just said the tone.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm just like, I don't want nobody to get beat up because I feel like you can fight.
I'm not a fighter at all. I've never had a fight in my life, Jeff.
Wow.
I wish the
roll
audio
your eyes at
listeners
that?
could see my face. I don't believe it.
He super rolled his eyes just now.
I did. Whatever.
Oh my god.
How do you because for me, okay, so I'm speaking just for me right now. Going to the gym every day. I go 5 days a week actually.
Damn.
And I work out twice a day at the gym and at home. How do you personally maintain that motivation to work out? Like, do you like get in your head about it and be like, yo, like I feel like crap if I don't go? Like, you do talk down to yourself in your head if you don't go, or?
No, I think that's the most important thing that you shouldn't do is like never talk down on yourself. Like, I think the best way to do it is like, well, one, I don't make it a strict rule for me. I have to be in the gym every day, if that makes sense. Because I am a person who's like, yo, train anywhere. Like, that's my motto. Like, I want people to understand that, like, you can get it in anywhere. Like, I had this job I hated one time, right? And I was just like, how can I entertain myself? And I'll, like, go sneak off and, like, do, like, 5 push-ups, then come back for 5 minutes and do another 5 push-ups. You know what I mean? Like, literally trying to, like, fit it in anywhere. I think that's what keeps me motivated. It's like, okay, well, I have this free time, and I understand, like, how important it is if I, like, just use this free time to, like, just tone something up. You know what I mean? So, yeah, definitely using your home as your gym. And then also, you know, once in a while you should, you know, get up and you actually go to the gym because it is a process. The hardest part is getting to the gym. Yeah. I feel like that is the hardest part is like actually getting to the gym.
Sometimes just starting out when you get there too is kind of weird because like when you walk in, you know, you're not really feeling yourself and then you're just like, okay. I feel like for me, I feel like everyone's looking at me and I feel like they can feel like, yo, this guy isn't really feeling it today. But
I always feel that though.
I think so much. I can't stop thinking. So how many days a week do you work out, would you say, on average?
So heavy workout, like where I'm like definitely gonna sweat at least 3 to 4 times a week. Now I also do like stretching and yoga and things like that, and so like, you know, to keep a healthy balance. And so technically I like every day. Yeah, like technically every day. A little bit every day. But like but not like heavy training because you do not want to do that every single day. You know what I mean? You definitely need to give your body some rest because recovery is just as important as working out.
Facts.
So yeah, almost every day it's just like a matter of like how I do it. So like, you know, some days I might just only stretch in the morning and stretch at night and that's my workout for the day. Other days I might do like a boxing workout and then like run 3 miles. You know what I mean? It's very like different, and I like to like switch it up, and I think that's what also another thing that keeps me motivated is like trying a whole bunch of new workouts, like going to these different classes in the city, you know, like meeting new trainers who then want to invite you to another class, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that
kind of thing, like keeping it versatile.
I'm thinking about getting into boxing.
You should.
I really want to, because like
such a good workout.
Even I just keep hearing for like the mental aspect of it. It's like the dedication you put into it and just how it feels. Like I've been thinking about doing that.
Have you ever thought about yoga?
Yeah, it keeps getting brought up like somehow on this podcast. Like, what are your experiences?
Your overactive mind.
What are your experiences with yoga overall? Like, how did you even get into it?
At first, I hated it. I'm not gonna lie. It like, I really think it depends. You have to find a trainer you like. Definitely. And that's with almost any kind of exercise you do. But like for yoga, for me, it was really hard because I was just like, I had just had this idea that I wasn't flexible and that like I just can't do this stuff. Like they're too bendy and just annoying. And like, you know, that's and also when they talk in the class, it's like. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
asleep,
yeah, like it's driving me crazy. But then like I tried hot yoga and I think that's what really did for me. I was like sweating and like I was like, wow, this is intense. You know what I mean? Maybe sometimes like it depends on what kind of workout you chase. I taste like an intense workout for the most part. So once I got that and like I had a trainer who wasn't like whispering every 5 seconds, you know, that's when I was like, okay. And then I started practicing at home. And then, you know, I got way more comfortable with it.
I'm seriously considering it, just doing like maybe 5 minutes a day. But I feel like it's just like, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be able to.
It's boring or something?
No, not boring. I don't know. I just don't feel like I'd be able to excel at it. I just don't feel like I have like the patience for it. Maybe I'm just psyching myself
up. I was saying, there you go. Like,
I hate how much you know me sometimes. It kind of like annoys me at this point. Like,
I mean,
stop knowing me. Stop knowing me.
Just get annoyed.
I feel like for you also as like a guy, you guys tend to be less flexible because you think that, you know, yoga and like even gymnastics and things are more feminine things. I think it's really important for you guys to stretch more because you do all this like lifting and all this stuff, and then it, you know, over time you're gonna be tight. You don't want to be an old tension. Guy who's like with arthritis walking around. You know what I mean? So you want to like, even if it's just a little couple things here and there every day, you know, just bending at the hip, stretching your arms up, you know, just really like opening up your body when you wake up. It'll do wonders for you.
Twerking a little bit when you get out of bed. Boop, boop, boop.
Sorry, wait.
Twerking a little bit when you get out of bed.
Twerking when I get out of bed.
Twerk.
I'll consider
I
that.
think men twerk like to be funny sometimes, don't they? No.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure they do. Like, I've just never. Maybe I have.
I'm about to say, like, you did it.
But like, I actually, it's funny you mentioned stretching. Like, I noticed it on Monday. I work on legs like almost every Monday. Or
leg day.
I kind of alternate, and I felt it in my knees. I was going heavy. I went up on my weight, and I was like, because I don't stretch ever. Like, so it's just like.
You need to.
Yeah.
Well, I stretch like when I do deadlifts. Sometimes like I'll stretch on my back just like to be safe. But like, other than that, like I don't really stretch like that.
Gotta do your whole body.
That's the personal trainer in you talking.
That's right. That's why she's here.
Yeah, seriously. And going into that, like when you were working on getting your license for that, like did you feel any type of way about like interacting with strangers essentially to train them? Like there's a lot of pressure that comes with that because I feel like when you're as a customer going in to get personal training, you have certain expectations for your trainer. So did you feel like any pressure with that?
I feel like at first it was very hard, just because of like who I appeal to, and so like younger crowd, definitely. And when they're younger, they're not that consistent, especially when it comes to like health and fitness and things like that.
And money.
It's really hard. Yeah. Also, yeah. And so like definitely, I felt like I wasn't charging what I should have been, but you know what I mean? I just really wanted to get to people. You know what I mean? I really wanted to show people like I can do this, you know? And then also guys, real skeptical of me, like you're the tiniest woman I've ever seen. What can you teach me? Like what can you do for me? You know, so I think it was really hard at first, just kind of going into that, especially because just like, you know, you're new on the scene and like really my following wasn't ready. Like, you know, like, oh, you're a trainer now. Like, yeah, I can do this now. You know, it's not just me working out. Now I can teach you how to work out. So now it was interesting at first, but we kind of got the hang of it.
I thought you would be more, damn it, Jesus. More like scared of the men who approach you for a fitness training than them being intimidated by you because you're so little and small. Like I would be a little nervous to work with a man, because you're really cute. So it's just like, how do you tell the difference if they really want your help or they just want to fuck?
You can tell. I feel like you can tell in like the first 5 minutes. Like, like I only had one experience like that, thank God, and it was really annoying.
I can see it from the guy's perspective. Like I feel like we wouldn't mostly want to have a female trainer just because.
Toxic masculinity.
No, like kind of like out of that fear of embarrassment, right? Because I feel like as guys, everything we do,
toxic masculinity.
yeah, but like everything we do is to impress a woman, whether it's our mothers, our girlfriends, whatever, like our female friends, whatever, like. So, I don't know. I feel like if we couldn't do a certain amount of reps, and my trainer's a woman, like I don't know. I feel like my ego would speak in that moment and be like, yeah, I don't know if I want to continue with her, just out of that. And I'm not saying that's how I feel, but I'm just saying like.
You understand.
I've had a trainer that was a woman before, and it was dope. Like because like I don't know. I just feel like male trainers are like the ones I've had are a bit too aggressive and not really understanding. Like I can't do this last rep. Don't try to get me to do it. You know what I mean? So, do you remember your first client?
Oh wow! Oh my gosh! No one's ever asked me that before, so now I've got to dig deep back in there.
They're probably listening right now. Damn, you don't remember me?
No. Oh my God.
Was it a guy or girl?
It was definitely a girl. Well, you know, because I started with classes before I did like personal training, so that's probably why I can't like really think back to it. I do remember my first class.
Sure. How did you feel going into that? How'd your first class go?
My first class actually went really well. Like 20 girls showed up, and I could not believe it. I was like, oh my gosh. And it was me and another trainer, but she wasn't like a trainer. She was kind of like my partner in it in a way, but she wasn't like certified like I was. So, and we really got 20 girls to come out, and I couldn't believe it. I was happy. We made some money that day. I was just trying to do it to just like, you know, show people like, oh, I can do this class. But yeah, it was called Abs and Ass Fitness.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like really like a workout. Focus on your abs.
Yeah.
That's what all the girls want. So I guess
abs and ass.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't working for neither one, so.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Got you.
If I can't get it while fucking, then we ain't getting it.
That's how you feeling right now? Like,
I'm that serious.
Heard you.
I'm not working out. Sorry.
Do you stretch at all?
I mean, if I have to. Like a stretch. When I wake up, I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm like the least. Fitness.
It's
healthy.
Not for you.
It's not. No, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm eat what I want to do. Eat what I want. Do what I want. That's that.
Okay. Do you think that you can eat healthy and still eat what you want?
You see, I don't eat bad neither. So it's just like one of those things. I don't eat bad. I don't eat good. Like when I do eat, I eat.
Okay.
What'd you eat today? What was the last meal?
I had white rice, black beans, and cooked banana.
Okay.
Oh.
That seems
vegetarian.
I don't know if that's all healthy. The white rice, I don't think.
Well, I can't give up rice. So people be telling you like, oh, brown rice, that shit is nasty. Well,
white rice isn't always bad.
You know, yeah. Again, I believe in moderation.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna stick with my meats. I'm Paula Deen. I need butter. I cook with lots of butter. It's the best thing in the world.
It is, yeah. That imitation shit is really no good for you.
Butter.
Heard you.
Hey.
When you're working with the clients, let's say like they're like me, like they're struggling with that last rep. How patient are you with them? Do you coach them through all the way, or do you kind of become human and get frustrated at times when they don't really do what you're asking?
You see how me and Coco had like this?
Because you seem really nice, so that's what I'm asking.
Can you get tough?
And I can be tough, but never like I never want to get frustrated with a client because like I've been there before. Like my dad was a Marine. And a hard ass, okay? So, like, when I couldn't finish something during the workout, or, like, I felt like I was going to literally, like, die on the floor, like, he'd still be like, ah! So, you know what I mean? I've been in that position. So, I never want to, like, show people, even if maybe I feel a little frustrated, like, I know you can do that, and I know you're faking on me, but it's okay. I never want to show that frustration. It's more like a thing of, like, well, I know you can do it. So, like, you know, when you're ready to stop playing, we can stop playing. You know what I mean? And less of like, you got to finish this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I always want people to understand, like, I believe in you. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here working with you. So, you know, but you need to reciprocate that. You need to believe in yourself. And you need to understand that, like, you can do this last one. You have it in you. And then you can drop right after. Yeah. If you need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One more.
Yeah, just one more.
Do you have a favorite workout?
Favorite workout? I really like... Okay, I have a favorite style, and I've definitely been into Muay Thai lately, and I love it. Like, I love being able to, like, kick and punch. Oh. I used to do Kung Fu as well, so, like, Muay Thai is not too far off from that, just a little bit different. Can you
explain more of that to people like me who don't know what you're talking about?
Okay.
She can kick some ass is what she's really saying. Like, don't try her.
So, it's all in the martial arts family. Muay Thai is Thai. It says the same thing. And then Kung Fu is Chinese. Okay. So they're just different fighting styles, really. And they both incorporate, like, kicking and punching and blocking and, like, different meditation movements as well.
Is it like the Billy Blanks thing that he came up with years and years ago? Like, oh, that was Thai Bo.
There's a variation of it, I guess, right? Of Thai,
no
but boxing,
wow.
yeah.
23.
Yeah. We're old.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about either.
Ay, Dios mío.
Shut up. You just want to be a part of the crowd.
I swear to God, I don't.
We'll show you later.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit nervous now.
Age is showing. Anyway.
Oh my God. That was a very big thing that,
for
like,
real, Billy
swept
Blanks
the, like,
type.
yeah.
No.
Fam, what are you saying? Like, what language are you talking right now?
It's English.
Typo.
So Muay Thai is like it's your steez right now. That's what you're enjoying.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun doing the workouts lately.
Do you have like belts, like different colored belts as you grow into?
No, so like maybe if someone. Okay, I'm trying to think how Muay Thai works. I don't think in Muay Thai or Kung Fu I ever had belts. Kung Fu is degrees, and then Muay Thai, I'm not heavily involved in, like, the temple, if that makes sense. It's more like, there's actually, like, the first boutique Muay Thai club in, like, it's near Bowery, called Hit House, and that's where I've been working out as of late. So it's less, like, usually Muay Thai, when you practice in like a temple, like this place called Revolution, it's actually not far from here. But now it's, you know, becoming a little more mainstream, so they have places like Hit House. Yeah. So it's really just like there's like a bunch of bags in the room, and like you're assigned to your bag for that class, and like you're just practicing, you know, punches, kicks, blocks, elbows, knees, like all that kind of stuff. A lot of self-defense.
Sounds like right up your alley, I think.
Is that more of a spiritual practice?
Definitely. I feel like people who are involved in the temple just more like, it's very more family oriented and like, yeah, like you said, a little more spiritual.
How do you tie in your fitness with spiritual and mental health? Or do you tie it in at all?
No, I definitely do. I definitely, my launch event, when I relaunched Cleopatra's Army, we had like a self-love panel. Like it's mental health is something that's very, very important to me, because I feel like if I didn't get it together, if I didn't have someone helping me with mine, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. You know what I mean? And actually running helped a lot with getting my mental health together, because it was just like I kind of had to have tunnel vision while running, and it gave me that time and space to think and just really be in my thoughts and understand, like, look at you, you're getting through this. And like it transitioned into other parts of my life, and then here I am, like, doing what I really love to do. So
I tend to forget that sometimes, you know, mental health issues and exercise actually can go hand in hand and help everybody. And I feel like that, Jeff, is that why you started working out more so, or was it just a vain issue to get your body together?
Yeah, like it was super vain and super insecure, like, because like I don't know, I was super skinny, and like I just didn't like that anymore, and like I didn't like girls coming up to you be like, yeah, you mad skinny and shit. Like that's just, it really sat with me, and it really bothered me.
So we can tie that into mental health too, because it kind of played into
my psyche. Yeah, for sure. And like it was super insecurity, and like I've been working out for like 5 years now, and like anytime I'm ever like frustrated or sad, like I take it out like on the weights. Like my favorite workout is to do deadlifts. I'm not sure if you guys know what that is. Yeah, like I can go super heavy with those, and it just feels good to just get it accomplished, like each set and each rep. And yeah, working out was definitely part of what saved my life, because like I'm not sure if you listened to this podcast at any point before coming on, but this podcast was birthed from my own depression. And when I got to a place of peace again, I wanted to create this platform to spread my message and my story, and have other people come on and share their stories, and just to help other people. And
right, because you said a podcast helped you, right?
Yeah, many other podcasts have helped me prior as well. And yeah, fitness was definitely a big part of that as well. Like I don't know if I would be without LA Fitness. You know what I mean? So,
shout out to LA Fitness.
Word, yeah.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor.
Do you have any history? Can a gym sponsor a podcast?
Why not? Hit them up.
They taking my $35 a month. They might as well pay it forward. I want reparations.
You should start every episode like LA Fitness.
They were charging me like $47.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, he's from Jersey, so
I was in Jersey too.
Oh, look at that!
Stop saying where I'm from. Like,
why? You ashamed of Jersey?
I know, but like I don't know who's listening. There's some crazy people might be listening.
You're not saying the town. We from New York. Okay? What the hell?
You are right. Oh, you right. You right.
So what is your history? Do you have any history with like depression? Like you mentioned earlier, you were like used to eat pretty bad, and like did that tie into your depression as well, or even just being a woman of color in this country?
Yeah, because you did mention how when you changed your food, your eating habits, that you started feeling bad in a sense. So the bad food, was that causing a mental health issue with you, or?
It was more like, it wasn't causing it, but it definitely wasn't helping. And I felt like I have really bad anxiety, if anything, and just like, I think around that time that I mentioned, it was mostly like, it was junior year, I was tanking. I had like a real, so pretty much what happened was I was sexually assaulted in my junior year of high school. And so like I started like tanking, my grades started taking. That's the year that, you know, colleges look at, you know what I mean? That's such an important year. And I was like, you know, I was just going through a lot, and I wasn't, like you said, I wasn't keeping up with the eating habits. And I think that, you know, what got me out was just kind of just remembering where I was before, really. So that was eating better and then working out more. Cause I had stopped working out also too. It wasn't just like the eating. It was like I was just on the couch, if that makes sense. Like, you know, totally, like so I think getting back to that, really
getting back to yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get into specifics of like that situation, but like, did you like how did you go to your parents about that? Like, how did they help you get out of that depression from it?
No. And I didn't tell them maybe until I want to say like a year and a half after it happened. I told very few people for the most part. Maybe I don't even remember if I told my sister. I told her like everything. You know what I mean? what got me, I think once I did tell like my family though, it did help a little more, but I waited so long that it kind of like the effect was like real damaging at first. Yeah. But I think what really got me out was like telling them and starting to like just kind of like make that shift. I can't remember what like the exact turning point was. Like I started reading again more. I think that was how, like I literally just like trying to remember who I was before that like traumatic experience for me. Kind of slowly started getting back into it. Like it's like, okay, well you should do this and like you should talk to this person. My school forced me to go to therapy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask next.
Did it happen at school?
No. So, I acted out at school in some way. I did something. I think I like.
You fought?
So you had a one-on-one with the counselor in the school?
Yeah, no. They made me go like an outside therapist. They were like, oh, nah, here, sis. They said, you gotta go see somebody. You have problems. So. Yeah, so I forgot about. I actually had to do that. Yeah, so I went there for like 3 months, and that was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you gone? I'll go back.
How has that shaped your relationships today? Like, how do you date now with that traumatic experience in your past?
I try really. Luckily, what I can say is that I don't know. Like, I don't really think about too much when dating. Thank God. It was hard at first, like when trying to like be sexually active again. That was like really strange for me. Like I definitely like freaked out on like a couple guys, so like that was weird. You know what I mean? Like,
were they understanding, or you never like
I don't think I really mentioned it to like whoever, but like I think eventually like when I started getting into actual relationships, like when I got like my first like real boyfriend, I was like, okay, well this happened to me.
You have to have a conversation.
Yeah, like you know what I mean?
You felt comfortable enough to express it.
Yeah.
And
thank you for sharing that though. Like that's pretty. I hope that helps somebody today.
Yeah, I didn't want to get too deep in it because I don't know how I guess and serious it is. Like, but I'm sorry to hear you went through that, and I'm glad to see you're okay. Like,
thank you.
Like I said, you inspired me to clean up my diet. So definitely grateful for you not cleaning up your image, but like coming back to who you were prior to that. So thank you.
Thank you.
When you mentioned like your dad and your mom a lot, and it seemed like your mom was more practical and like kind of wants you to get like an actual job, and your dad kind of seems like, yo, just do you, right? Kinda?
Yeah, kinda. Like as far as entrepreneurship.
Yeah. I was gonna ask like when you did you approach them before deciding you wanted to become an entrepreneur? Did you like pitch the idea to them first and then do it, or was it vice versa? Or
I was just like, I'm gonna do this, and then eventually like when I figured it out, like what exactly I wanted to do, then that's when I kind of like when I wanted to apply for like a studio, that's when I went to my mom. I was like, well, here's my business plan. I need you to co-sign this lease. Nice. So I want you to see that like I'm real serious about what I'm doing. And so, that's when I felt like I needed help or some little more guidance. That's why I went to them. But like initially, I was just like kind of just keeping it amongst friends and just like my siblings and just it was pretty like just chill.
Yeah. I'm not a parent, but if I was a parent, I would be like way ecstatic and proud for you to even get it together first and be like, hey, I did all this. Now can you help me? Like, was there a feeling of proudness from your parents for them?
Okay, so. My mom is like a real traditional Caribbean woman when it comes to this part. Like, she was, like she's very. I can't really get her vibe from it sometimes. Like, I did this whole Nike commercial and like I showed it to her and she was just like, You know what I mean? Like very like it wasn't very like a really like ecstatic. It was just like, oh wow, it's nice. Okay.
Can I just say you said that in the most humblest way? Oh, I did this whole Nike commercial and I showed my mom like. That's Nike. Like, what the fuck?
And that's how I felt. You know what I mean? Like, okay. Yeah.
That's cool. Like, one of the biggest brands in the world? Sure.
Yeah. Like, and then, like, on the other hand, like, I started speaking to my dad a while ago, so, like, I don't really know how he feels about it. But, like, I do want to say, though, regardless of, like, how my parents feel, they did play such a big roles in who I've become, of course. Mm-hmm. And I'm, like, eternally grateful for that. I think my mom, is definitely proud. I think now she's starting to understand how well I'm doing. It took her a while. You know what I mean? Like, okay, she's doing this thing. She'll get over it. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then I think now she's starting to understand, like, oh, okay, it's working for her.
It's serious.
Yeah.
You have a sibling, right?
Yes, I have an older sister and a younger brother.
Okay, so like, how do you think they feel about your progression and your entrepreneurship? Are they involved in it at all, or?
Oh my gosh, my sister, her birthday was a few days ago, and she was like, she told me on her birthday, she's like, I'm so proud of you. She was like, you really did your thing. I was like, oh my God, don't make me cry. And my brother is just like, he's like an awesome little brother. So he's just like always like, yeah, oh my God, I'm so proud of you, happy for you. Like, yeah, I'll be here. Like, I'll do this. Like, you know what I mean? He always shows up. So like, I'm very like, they're like definitely like the biggest support system. Like, they're so great. You know what I mean?
Yo. I don't have siblings, so I imagine that certain people's homes, like siblings, could be like kind of like jealous at times of your success and all that. But it's glad to hear you have a support system, like a solid support system. Yeah. So like going into this entrepreneur life, like you had to acknowledge the fact that there's literally no linear trajectory. Like you could get injured working out one day, or you could have no clients at all. Like, how did you fight through that and have the confidence to go into indulging in this life? Like, was there a certain moment? Was there a certain amount of like people being receptive to your idea? Like, what was it that kept you going and just fully committing to the idea of being an entrepreneur?
So I guess thinking about all the things you said, like at any point something could like stop me from being able to do my job. But I think a real blessing that, you know, a lot of people need to pay attention to is that there are so many avenues and ways for you to make money that, like, you know, even if you get injured today, if you're smart about it, you can still find a way like to be making money while you're sick in bed, if that makes sense. So one thing that really helped me with that was reading this book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And like just thinking about like, oh wow, I need to understand money better. I'm like all focused on like, oh, I want to make money. But do I really understand it? Do I know how to invest? Do I know how to save? Do I know how to budget? Like really like sitting back and thinking about that, and like just learning different ways to like save. Like saving really helped me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, whew. Like there are so many things I was able to do with saving money. I was like, why didn't I do this before? Like if I known this when I was 17, I wouldn't have spent all those money on clothes. You know what I mean? And another thing we take for granted is just the fact that you can have online businesses and that you can sell things online. And some people don't, obviously, you know, we're in fast fashion and stuff like that. People don't do it the right way often. Yeah. However, if, you know, doing the right way, getting all your licenses and stuff like that, you know, making sure you're protected legally, it's like it can help, you know, because, you know, you're right. Anything can change at the blink of an eye. Yeah. But just making sure you have multiple sources of income in case something does happen, I think it's really, really important, especially as an entrepreneur. Yeah, in our community, like the idea of saving is just, I feel like it's not really preached enough. Like people always feel like they have to have the freshest clothes to keep up. Like that idea of keeping up is just so present in our community, and it's like that's kind of one of the main issues. Like you don't need a chain, you don't need the newest shoes. Maintaining an image, right? Yeah, the image thing is just so disgusting to me. And like was that like the idea of saving? Like it's just natural? It came to you, or was it your parents, or what was that? I have this friend named Andy who like helped me build credit because I didn't have it at first, and then he was like, "Yo, you need to get some credit because like how are you gonna apply for an apartment or anything or do whatever?" So I was like, oh, "Okay." So he kind of like he's one. First of all, he's the one who encouraged me to read that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And then, like, after that, he was like, yeah, so, like, start saving, like, you know. And then I started reading different ways to save. It's, like, $5 here, like, doing something like that. Or, like, even, like, just putting all those coins you have aside. Yeah. Man, one time I was, like, a lot of money. Like, you know, I couldn't believe it. So I think just, yeah, like, he kind of really, my friend Andy really, like, inspired me to save. Like, he's just like, yeah, like, he, you know, he really taught me some basics about money. And then that inspired me to go read the book. And then the book inspired me to go learn more about money. And just, like, I think what's important is financial literacy in, like, anything you do, really, especially in our community, because there isn't enough of it. Yeah. You know, so. There's not enough people in our community to even say that, I feel. At least not, like, there's a lot of people saying it, I guess, but, like, not really reachable, right? So, like, I feel like Jay-Z is, like, saying that a lot of his lyrics, but, like, he's a billionaire, right? Not saying, like, you're smaller than him, but, like, someone who's, like, more accessible. You are, but, like, I mean, like, accessible, I mean. Like, someone who's, like, I guess, relatable at the same time, too. So I think you need to definitely preach that message as much as you can because people need to hear that. Yeah. Our people need to hear that. I definitely want to do that for young kids when I have the means. Like go into like different schools, like ones I used to go to, and like have financial literacy classes. 21 Savage was actually doing that for kids, I think in Atlanta. Is so it? Yeah, wow. Yeah, like it's super important. You know what I mean? Especially if you want like generational wealth and stuff like that.
Yes, 21 Savage gives back crazy, and he definitely is doing the whole financial literacy in his community.
Yeah. I wasn't aware. I know he gave us a really good album last year, but I didn't know it.
21 is the man. 21.
Shout out him. Can we get him on the podcast?
I'm actually
gonna shoot your shot.
You want to take some? Or you okay? You're comfortable now. We asked enough questions and got her comfortable enough to have her take some Hennessy. What was up? You got something?
I mean, I was gonna get to the frilly questions like, are you single? Is there anybody out there like if you know for the listeners? Because I know you have a lot of male followers, so there's somebody out there who's probably listening, trying to figure out how can I get closer to you.
She said, I don't want nobody close.
She's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be like, don't shoot your shot. I'm good. No, just let me stop. Okay.
No, you're good.
Then. Say the same no, don't shoot your shot. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now, that's just not something I'm trying to focus on. Like, if I'm never gonna like reject something that's genuine and like comes in the right way. But yeah, I'm just not like I have a boyfriend. I'm not like really like not even very minimal, very casual dating, but not much. Like I really just want to like. I feel like for a long time I was just always up under somebody. I always had a boyfriend.
Right.
Like
you're 23.
I know. Yeah. So can you imagine? So I was like 17. Just like always like I want to be a boy. I have a boyfriend and like you know what I mean. I've only had like maybe like 2 serious, but still just like always dating someone like just too much. You know what I mean? So like I want to definitely like establish my independence now.
Could you date someone who's not into like fitness?
No. Wait. Like they don't have to be a personal trainer. I'm saying, but like you can't like not work out. That's
Fat guys is a dub. Oh, my beer belly brothers. I'm sorry, but you cannot get with Cleopatra. I'm sorry, you can't. I'm sorry. Do some cardio, sign up for a gym, and maybe you could shoot your shot.
Sign up for a fitness plan, and then maybe after.
Right.
Yeah, maybe.
Emphasis on maybe.
I'm just gonna stay quiet.
What? You feel the same way?
What? I got. Feel the same way about what?
Anyone like not working out or not being like physically fit?
She just said before she didn't work out, so she's not holding it against anybody.
I've been asking her a question. What about you?
What about me?
Would you care like because you date someone who's like not in shape?
I have before, and my preference would be somebody that does, take care. I mean, it's
heard you.
That'd be my preference.
Y'all just
nothing against
all
anybody,
three of y'all just hate the fat dudes.
Brothers,
I'm with you.
Not even.
I'm not a fat dude.
Nice
it's good in the winter,
but
you won't.
I was
good in the
winter.
winter.
Was nice and big. Like I love me a big girl.
Yo, fellas, I'm with you. Fellas, ladies, bigger. Man, I mean, I'm with y'all. They're not with y'all.
Talking shit.
Do you feel like you're living your purpose? Like, do you think you were meant to do this?
Yes. And I feel like this is like the foundation that's going to like lead me into other things I want to do. Like, okay, fun fact, I know I'm going to do movies. So like I'm definitely going to be an actress in movies, and I want to do action films because I want to be able to do my own stunts, like be able to move all around.
I can see you as an actress too.
I'm writing a script right now if you want to hear that. I'm being dead ass.
There you go right now.
That's what I'm talking about. You're such a biter. I'm writing a book, you're writing a book. I'm writing a script, you're writing a script.
Stealing all your ideas.
Little brother.
Got to get my thoughts on my head somehow, right?
I mean, you're right.
No, but like, so that's another goal like in your bucket list, like to act?
Oh, yeah. Well, because I've done like some minimal acting here and there, but definitely, I'm a big cinephile. Like, I love movies. I spend a lot of time watching movies. Like, in my free time, I love watching movies and reading books. Those are like the 2 things that I do. So I've always wanted to like be in an action film. I want to like move people through that avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd just be great to do it in an action film because like I'm into fitness and like I want to move around. Like Jackie Chan was doing those stunts.
You want to run across buildings. You want to kick people in the face.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite directors, and who is your favorite female woman of color author?
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's a woman. She's a Haitian woman. Her name is Edwidge Danticat, and she's one of my favorite authors, Black woman of color. Favorite director? That's so hard. If it's crazy. I really enjoyed a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies, but he's so fucking problematic that it's like
he loves the N-word.
Yeah,
he loves
like,
it, yo.
And,
I love
too much.
Quentin Tarantino. So I'm one of those people. I don't mind a racist every now and then because you letting me know who you are. So Quentin Tarantino, I feel like he's never shied away from who he was, and he's always been very truthful about who he is as a person.
But you know what people will say that he did Jackie Brown. That's what people always say. He had the woman of color, Jackie Brown, like as the main star. So like he's not racist because he did that. And I love that movie. That's a great movie.
Jackie Brown was okay.
It was okay.
You never seen it? You know,
just okay.
I just
That's like
read
us
today.
saying Robert De Niro is not racist because his wife is black and she's sitting here asking for $500 million. So
Jackie Brown's about to be on Netflix in July, so you need to watch that.
Oh, yay. Okay, cool.
I love how he does that.
Wait, Robert De Niro and his wife are getting divorced?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Damn, Rob.
For them.
You
Yeah.
lost your queen, Rob.
They were together a long time, like 25 years or something,
together
right?
for a minute. Why?
Yeah.
You know what? Let me.
Because he
mind my
old.
business. He old.
He old. Like, career, he ain't doing nothing.
I mean, at this point, where you going?
He's still making bank, though.
Hell yeah.
Maybe off the residuals, but.
Nah, he's the king. He's the real king of New York.
Are you kidding?
Robert
He's
De Niro.
making
Facts.
bank either way. Like just off of like, he's just being Robert De Niro.
But not even about money, like
Jay-Z, like don't disrespect me.
Let's be real. The Viagra ain't working anymore. She needs some young,
What he said?
hung.
The Viagra ain't working
Yeah,
anymore.
like Robert, he ain't doing it no more, yo. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't want to be 70 talk about let me switch my person because the vibe. Like if you don't
Yeah.
sit your ass down somewhere.
Shout out, yo, Robert De Niro. I love you. Shout out to you, by the way.
Word.
You're not listening, but
Just
I
try
love
to
you.
play him just now. But
Yeah,
okay.
really. I love
He
you.
ain't listening, so it's all good. And nobody who knows him is listening.
You never know,
Right?
So working with these different brands, right? People of color, I feel like these, from my perception of these brands, I haven't worked with any brands yet. I feel like they're kind of asking people of color to conform a certain way, have a certain hairstyle, do a certain pose, do whatever. Like, have you noticed that working with these different brands? Like, have you noticed like any like weird shit?
So, I've always noticed that like brands love light skin with the curly hair look for Black women.
And if you're gonna be natural, you have to look like no disrespect, but this is the ideal look that they would like you to have.
And then if you're dark skinned, they want you to have like a bold cut, like hair like shaved down, and that's it, no hair.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's pretty much. I don't know if you've ever noticed like the high fashion, like the models. It's like if they're
That is
light skinned, they have
true,
curly hair, or if they're dark, they have like no hair. I think that especially with what I do, so like more like fitness modeling, a lot of like promotional stuff for brands. There's a little more like leeway and like I have a little more flexibility with what I can do. And also shout out to my manager Quay, because she like definitely has reminded me that like be yourself, like and the brands will come to you for being yourself. You do not have to conform. You don't have to like behave a certain way. Just the money will come and from the right people.
That's right.
Yo, I'm cool as hell. Where the brands at? Like, what the fuck? Where the
Keep
brands
being
at?
cool. That's
yo,
right.
we
You be looking
being
for
cool.
them. That's why they ain't coming.
Yeah, you gotta keep being
You gotta
cool.
just relax yourself.
Yo,
Humble
but,
cool.
but like you can't even lie at this
telling
point.
you.
We are fucking
We are
on,
dope,
like
but I'm
we are the
telling
shit.
you,
Humble cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
By
so
the
much.
way, we are the most in shape podcast
coming.
on this network.
In
It's
shape?
coming.
What do you mean?
Like we are like the four of us, the three of us, and then CR. We are in the best shape on Gotham Podcast Network.
I'm sure we are, but again, I keep
We
telling
look
you.
good. We talk good.
Look at my shit right now.
Where the brands at, yo? Hennessy, where are you at, yo?
Hennessy
It's
didn't even
coming,
wanna work
it's
with
coming.
Listen, the Hennessy Palooza guys had to change
Well,
their
that's
name
'cause
from
Chris
Hennessy
Styles
to
is a creep.
Shut the
Ay, Dios mío.
Jesus.
Sorry.
He did not say that, people. Like this is
We're not giving him
a
Henny no more, all right?
podcast, okay? Love us still. Chris Styles, we love you.
Have you worked with like your ideal brand yet? Have you worked with a brand that you wanted to work with since you were a kid? Yet already?
Nike.
That was Nike.
I have a question about Nike because I see like the past 2 years Nike has like they must have hired some really good urban people on their team because they're like hitting us like left and right, whether it be women, people of the rainbow persuasion. They're like coming, but I always said Nike is a very smart company and they're about the money. Do you feel that it messes with your integrity to work with a company like that? Or do you feel like Nike is genuinely trying to help and give everybody a platform?
So what I will say is from what I've experienced, like working with like actual people who are in the, sitting in the office and stuff like that, very genuine. And like, having one of them become one of my friends even, and she's a young Black woman of color who's steady looking out for me these last couple years, just making sure like I'm in like these events and making sure I get the merch. Yeah, shout out to Quinn Butts. Okay, that's my girl. She works for Jordan Brand. She's definitely been like, keeping it real. And I feel like from most part what I've been around, even in their like running aspect of things, like that's how I kind of started with Nike. Like I was doing their run clubs like every day.
I had a friend who was doing their run clubs, and she was actually in a few commercials too and everything.
See?
Jody,
Yeah.
shout out Jody.
What is that exactly for the listeners?
Well, they don't have them anymore, but they used to have run clubs every day.
Really?
Almost every day of the week. Like you could go up and meet up with Nike Pacers and like you run. Oh. And it was great. Like that's really how I got into long distance running. 'Cause I was a track girl before, and then I started doing miles with them. And they eventually like flew me out to run a race with them. You know what I mean? Like to Toronto. It was dope.
I did track too in high school. Did you do any meets and all that? Like,
yeah, So here's the thing. I did like one meet, and then after that, my dad was like, "No, I think we're just gonna stick to you just training." I did well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my
Did you look too good on the platform or something? He was just like, no.
So I don't know. I can't remember what the reason was, but like, I didn't mind also because like because track practice was like the meets were interfering with something else I wanted to do, so like, I low-key didn't mind, but I was good.
Yeah.
I was really good like the 200 meter, but like I don't know. I forget what was the real reason like he pulled me out of competing.
Yeah.
But we just stuck to. I think maybe it's because my brother couldn't. I think it's because we were like two peas in a pod. We're only 2 years apart, so like I think it was very like, oh, he can't do this. Like, I gotta pull you out now because this is weird. I don't know. It was something like that.
Can I stunt right quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
My first track meet that I was ever in, I did the 4x4. Got a gold medal with me and the other people on my track team.
Yay.
On the way home from that track meet, lost the medal.
What?
So I have no proof. So everyone I tell does not believe me.
How did you lose it?
I lost it.
How?
Don't believe me.
Yes,
I lost
running home and you dropped the shit?
4x4, gold medal, my fucking high school, my team, we got that. I did the long jump too, got the silver, but I got that somewhere.
You got the silver.
I used to tell people I used to run track, but if you listen to now, that's probably a lie. I used to play tennis. I ran track in like middle school, but it was like I went to a public school in the South Bronx, so can you can imagine the resources we was getting.
This is why I love this
Zero.
because I learned something new about y'all every episode.
But I did.
You did play tennis, my nigga?
Yeah, I can play tennis.
That's great.
We about to play some tennis this summer, yo.
Woohoo.
Dead
So
ass.
the thing is, I can play tennis, but it's just like one of those things. Like I learned to play tennis in the projects when I was growing up because somebody would come in the summertime, but it wasn't PAL, and I was telling them. But because the girls were so mean to me, I kind of kept that little to myself. But yeah, I can play tennis. I love tennis.
You better play some
I even
tennis this
sit down
summer.
and watch tennis. Like people don't.
We need to go play tennis.
Yeah,
there's plenty of places
I even
in
have
Manhattan.
tennis rackets in my house. Like I play tennis. I
New
have an
content
award.
coming soon.
Oh, Jesus.
Introverted Intuition YouTube channel. So you kind of spoke about briefly a little bit like your experience as a woman of color in like the modeling industry, but like what about overall in this country? Like how does like the way our women are treated affect your psyche?
Especially, did you grow up in Harlem, born and raised? So yeah, especially in a neighborhood like Harlem where it's changed over the years. How does that affect you as a Black woman?
It hurts to see how much Harlem has changed because I have like such a deep love for it. Everybody knows like whenever I ask where I'm from, I'm like Harlem, like I'm so like enthusiastic about it. Yeah, I'm so extra. So
I mean, but you wouldn't be from Harlem if you wasn't extra. Like everybody from Harlem is just like Harlem. Like I love it and then I hate it, but I get it.
So I think it hurts to see the change. It's like one thing that really upset me recently was like they knocked down the Harlem Renaissance Ballroom. To make way for something else, and it's just such a historical, like it should have been a monument. You know what I mean? Like
a landmark.
Yeah. There you go. And so, I guess in my experiences in like this country, just a Black woman have been like, I feel like I get a very half and half experience of it because then I would come into some places depending on how my hair looks on that day, and then people think, oh, you're mixed. You know what I mean? And then you get a different treatment because you're light skinned. So it's like. It's I know.
I got the perfect question after that because
so, and then just seeing like even like little things like New York's club scene is probably is super racist. So like going into like and they're like, oh, we don't want you coming, and then it's like why, and then they don't want to say it, but you know why. Like it depends on like what friend you're with.
Exactly.
If you're with that, you know what I mean.
It's always been like that.
It's so those.
I used to think it was like pretty and ugly, but then I started realizing it has nothing to do with look. It really is a color issue sometimes in some of these places, and it's a little sad. But my question to you is because you said that you was light skinned. This whole new and people, when I say this, please do not take this as any disrespect at all, or feel away about what I'm about to say. This whole melanin movement. Do you feel like this movement displaces light-skinned women in a sense, or is it because again, people when I say this, I know like I like to say like light-skinned women, we've been a thing for centuries, for years, but that's not, we don't feel that way as light-skinned women. I just want to say that right now. And secondly, it was always dark skin and light skin, and then this is my theory. I felt like the brown skin girls had to say something to make because they felt left out the battle. So then we have this whole brown girls rock. I'm not against it. I'm not saying nothing against it. I'm just trying to figure out why can't it just be women of color rock? Like why do we have to label, like why do we have to pick out a shade and just say, well, that shade is better than this shade? Like I feel like we're going back to the whole light skin versus dark skin thing.
Yeah, no.
When we could just eliminate all of that and just say, women of color come in all different shades. Get with it. That's it.
Well, for brown girls, I'm not sure if this is true, but for brown girls, I always thought it was like they just included like, you know, even if you're light skinned, you're brown. That's what I thought it meant.
I consider myself a brown girl.
Yeah,
when I meet brown girls, they be like my little sister. Cause I'm the only light skinned person in my family, so everybody in my family is brown skin or darker complexion. So my little sister, we have this little thing when she comes, she's like, oh, you acting so light skinned. But sometimes I find myself catching in my feelings like, bitch, I'm not acting light skinned. I'm acting like Helena.
Yeah.
And she will do things and she'll, oh, that's. And I'm just like, why do you feel that way? Do you still feel it because you grew up with me, and it was always that thing like, oh, you're the light skinned sister, I'm the dark skinned sister. People may look at you different, but it was always like, I'm the light skinned sister with no ass. You're the dark skinned sister with all the body. What is like? I feel like it's really about the experience, and like I feel like people do tend to glorify light skin, even if you don't feel that way. I don't feel like. And, like, I don't get it off the back, but I do see, like... I see it, like, I see it now. I think I'm starting to get a little bit more bothered by it as I get older, because it's just, like, I grew up in a family where I'm the only I'm the only light-skinned person, so I've always was the black sheep in a sense. So then when I come outside my house and I have people telling me, oh, well, you're not this, I'm just like, well, I am black. Wet this hair is going to nap up like... nobody's business. So it's just like, I feel like with everything going on, women of color, we have divided ourselves so much again. Yeah. Instead of having this real true unity.
I feel like
I don't have nothing against brown skin girls, dark skin girls. I just don't understand why we have to keep saying brown skin, light skin, dark skin.
Oh yeah, no. That's absolutely right. I don't agree with that whole like I feel like we should stop with all the labels and just, yeah, you're right. We are black women, we are women of color. That's it. That's all it should be. That one's a tough one because like I said, like I know that sometimes people will treat me differently for that, and then will treat my dark skinned friend differently, and it's just like, you know, colorism is a thing, and it's been a thing, and I just wish that in all cultures, we just need to stop. It's
in all cultures too. Like we always like to think it's just within our community, but I live in a predominantly Indian neighborhood, and it's just like that. The colorism in those
families
is outrageous.
Do colorism and racism go hand in hand a bit?
No, because racism is systematic, and colorism is more prejudicial, if that makes sense.
I always feel like sometimes racism is sometimes it's not about black and white, but rich and poor.
Well, and that ties back to systematic. You know what I mean? It has to do with your education and like how the system is with that. Like, you know, not teaching African American history in schools is a form of racism. Yeah. So,
how surprised was you when you got older and you started to? Well, did you grow up in a family where they taught you your history, or did you have to find out on your own your true history?
So half of my family is Haitian, so easier to trace back. Family lineage and just a different sense of pride. And then the other half I didn't really know much about, and just know that like somewhere along the line we were probably slaves, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I guess now I've learned so much in these last couple years just taking the time to learn out. And it was never that my family like wasn't, my dad's like very like pro-black and stuff like that, but he just didn't have the history facts to go with it.
So your mom is Haitian and your
father's and my father's just African American. Yeah. So I think there's this one woman. Her thing is called Intellectual Media. I love her. She makes a whole bunch of like 60-second videos, like just giving you like amazing Black history that your school will never teach you.
Yes. Because people like to tell you they'll let you believe that we all came off the boat from Africa, and that's just not the case.
The only Black history I was taught is that George Washington Carver made peanut butter. That was the only like Black history I was ever taught in high school that I can recall.
When I found out about Black Wall Street, I was livid. Like I could not believe that was such it's such an important thing to know, and that we were never taught about it, and it was an entire massacre. Can you imagine?
Yeah. a fucking black man invented a fucking air conditioner. Like,
in the elevator.
And it's fun. I fucked up like months ago. I was about to bring it to I had a whole list of like black inventors I was gonna like incorporate into a segment of the podcast. I fucked up, but I'm gonna bring that in going on past episode 100 because that's very important. Because we've created more stuff than y'all would probably think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Street lights, all that shit.
I mean, it starts with us.
Yeah. And like I see on your social media that, and just even now today, like you push the idea of self-love like very strongly. Like, how did you get to that space? One, to confidently say like I'm very comfortable with who I am, and two, when you're projecting that idea of self-love to your audience, how do you do it in a way where it's kind of digestible enough where they feel comfortable too to have that same strength to do the same?
Well, it took me a while to get there because like I think for like the first 18 years of my life, I spent it trying to like please other people, especially like my family, and just knowing that I'm not the traditional kind of girl, and I just finally like embracing that and coming to terms with that and just like loving myself for exactly who I am. It was just more of like a thing of like you don't have to change these parts about yourself. There's nothing like morally wrong about you being this way. And I can't even pinpoint specifically what it is, For example, something that was really tough for me to deal with was like I dress a little sexy. Sometimes I wear sweats, but there's sometimes where I'm like, I want to be sexy. Right. And I think coming from like a conservative family, that was really like a lot to deal with. And so I feel like just kind of understanding like there's nothing wrong with who you are, and just kind of like understanding, and then making that digestible for my followers, just kind of like a thing of like, look at me with all this confidence. I'm not even going to entertain the people who are trying to talk their shit about, whatever it is, my hair, my skin, I don't know, whatever it could be. And like you should see that and feel the same way about yourself. Like, there are certain things you can't change, and you don't need to change them because there's nothing wrong with it, no matter what these people are telling you.
Gems.
Right. And you work out a lot too, so like I feel like that maybe that confidence came from that as well, like seeing the growth of certain body parts. Like, could you preach to your audience like, yo, you don't even have to work out to have like this self-acceptance of yourself? Like,
and I feel like some people don't understand that. I feel like they think I'm like just like this hard ass, like, no, you need to work out to look good. Like, no, I'm still gonna support and love the people who don't work out. You know what I mean? Like, it's really, most importantly, I want you to love yourself. Like, before you even step foot in that gym, like, I want you to have the confidence that I had to find. You know what I mean? And it took me a while. So like, I always can respect people who aren't there yet, if that makes sense. Like, I know it takes some time and it takes some guidance, and it might just take more than just you. But like, if you want to get there, you will get there. Like,
the journey of self-love is such a up and down battle every day. Like, do you let your followers, listeners know like you're human too? So you're gonna have bad days along with good days. Like, every day of self-love is not gonna be like I'm the shit. You're gonna have some days where you doubt yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if I feel like I communicate that well, and if I don't, y'all, I be having bad days.
She's a human, y'all.
She's human. Yes.
Like, I'm talking like some days I look in the mirror and I'm just like, oh, what the fuck? You know what I mean? It's really not every day I feel like I'm that bitch. Like, it's more of just like, if I feel myself going down that spiral, remembering like, look, it's just, this feeling is temporary. Don't sink into it. Yeah. Just pick yourself up and start again tomorrow. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not every day is gonna be your best day. So,
have you ever like plateaued, like in terms of like working out? You feel like you got to a point where like you weren't really doing much? Like, I actually just got over that plateau finally, and I'm actually enjoying working out again because I felt like I'm doing different things. Like, so I was curious if like maybe your journey towards self-love was like getting over the hump of like getting a plateau. You feel like you're doing the same thing, same routine workout, same squats, same reps, whatever.
Yeah, I feel like for a while I wasn't. I think right before I started like really like doing more research and like more like study on like the body and stuff like that, I feel like for a while I wasn't getting where I wanted. I wanted to be like I wanted to be way more toned in certain areas, and I wasn't achieving that. Right. And it was frustrating me, like especially in the stomach. And I think, and
which is hard for women though, right?
Yeah, but and it's hard for women, and especially women of color for some reason. So it's
stomach
like
area?
Lower stomach area right here.
Pooch.
Yeah. So. And I'm not saying that's for everybody. It's just something that, and for me, mostly it was like it was my diet that I wasn't thinking of. So that turned into that. But I think that was like a really frustrating part for me, like getting over that. Just like, okay, well, what am I doing wrong? And then just kind of like giving up for a little while. and then going back into it.
But you said something like I just read something this week about how like the lower area where you have if you have fat in that area, like that's a hormonal issue. So I guess it's safe to say like women of color have hormonal issues then, because it's like we all have that. No. That little fupa part, or is that just like a?
No, because not everyone has it, and also like that when it comes to like things are hormonal, then that's not just related to women of color. Because then if it's like if it's a hormonal reason that you have like that area a little chubbier down there, then it's less about like being woman of color. It's more just like woman. You know what I mean? Because our bodies are built for the most part to give birth. So like the area is always going to be like a tricky area, especially like put you down there. So.
By the way, I'm speaking for the fellas right now, or certain fellas. That fupa area is appreciated by some men out here. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, Coco.
Right.
Don't judge me. I'm just saying. I'm out here again. You know what I mean? I'm just saying it's appreciated. You can keep it. It's fine.
He's letting y'all know.
Don't
Jeff like y'all to come in all sizes, all right?
Right.
No, I need.
Don't discriminate.
Don't you say nothing else. They coming in all sizes for you, Jeff. All right. That's it.
Shut up. So like going into the fitness industry, I guess are there any people that you follow on Instagram or whatever that influence you or inspire you? Can you shout them out?
Okay. Serena Williams, I love you.
Oh, queen.
I love Serena Williams. Like. I'm like obsessed with like everything she does, low key. Just like she just has such an amazing story between like the stuff she did with her father, which I can relate to, and then just like she had a difficult birth product.
Why does Venus get no love though?
I love Venus. Like Venus was when I started playing tennis, I saw Venus first and then Serena. So I've always had a love for Venus. And I'm not gonna lie, when Serena came to the scene, I low key felt horrible for Venus. I said, God damn it, Venus, she's about to just steal all the shine. But it happens that way, and I feel like Venus is such a confident woman that she's just proud of her sister.
Well, shout out Venus too. Y'all mad? Yo, y'all disrespectful.
Shout out to the Williams sisters. Like, love
Williams sisters.
Like, their story is incredible. Like, their father is just like the rock, the foot, the hand, and the devil and the God. Like, I love his story. I love
that nigga and fucking Joe Jackson are the two.
Yeah.
We're not gonna compare them.
Yeah. No, but I'm not comparing them, but like those are like.
I mean, Joe did his thing though. We know the Jackson 5.
Yeah.
I never had a pop, so like I would like between those two, like I would choose if I had to choice to choose between those two pops, I would fucking choose one of them.
I'm taking Snoop.
Snoop as a dad?
Hell yeah.
That's mad weed in your life as a kid.
What's wrong with that?
It's not. Like,
but as a kid?
He ain't gonna pass you the blunt when you're a kid.
Yeah,
gotta be of age.
I think he was like.
I don't know if Snoop is a good dad though. No shade to Snoop.
Very loving.
I don't know.
Yeah, he seems very. He gives that uncle vibe.
Like, do you
so
see
like,
him in Martha?
Huh?
Stop talking. Do you see him in Martha?
But I heard Doggy Style. I heard Doggy Style, and that nigga was crazy.
Great album.
One of the best hip hop albums of all time, if you want to debate it.
Classic.
One of the best hip hop albums, if you want to debate it.
Classic.
How has 2019 been for you so far? Have you accomplished any goals?
Have you 6 months of year.
Halfway there? Shit.
Yeah, I know.
6 months of 2020, people.
And tomorrow's the first day of summer. We should
get it in.
It hasn't been summer thus far?
No, the official start. The actual summer equinox.
Who decided that tomorrow was the official start? Was
the
it
sun?
Yeah, pretty much.
I like that answer.
Yeah.
The sun?
The sun decided, yeah.
What's going on? Okay, come on.
Memorial Day is the unofficial start of summer.
No, but seriously, like who found out that the sun decided that tomorrow was the official day of summer?
Was it the
season change? I don't know. Now you asking
it's
about
like
science.
One of those things. Yeah, it's just like, do we ask who decided to make the trains and the tunnels and the highways and all that shit?
I want to know. I want to know.
I do want to know that, especially the highways and the tunnels. Like, who went into the water to put the shit down there?
By the way, who named the streets?
Not paid well enough.
Who named the streets? Who named the street that we're on right now? Where is that guy or gal?
It has to be the same person because it's like a grand street in every.
It's a Broadway in
every state. Like a Malcolm X Boulevard. That's the black neighborhood.
Yeah, that's how you know you're in a black neighborhood.
I'm trying not to question everything, but I need answers, bro.
I feel you though.
I need answers.
My main answer I need is who went under the water to put the bridge stuff down there.
A lot of people died doing the Brooklyn Bridge.
Hell yeah.
Fun fact. Yeah, like they would because there's so much pressure down there. Putting it in, like their like ears would like explode. Not literally explode, like it's a lot. You know how your ears pop when you're under pressure?
There's like a sign on the bridge that'll tell you a little bit of the history.
Are you serious? I'm too scared to walk the Brooklyn Bridge. Once it gets to the wooden part, I'm walking right back to it.
No, it's fine.
Hell no.
I want to
It's
get
actually structurally not sound.
And
I
it
just
was
heard
crazy
something
'cause I
on the
grew up
news
in the
yesterday
South
about
Bronx,
that. It's
and I
definitely
can
not
walk the
socially sound.
138th and Willis Bridge, but I cannot walk
It's a 30-minute walk.
the Brooklyn Bridge at all.
Hold up, you still watch the news? Like you watch the news consistently?
every day.
Somewhat, yeah, pretty consistently.
When you wake up, you go to
Do
bed,
you
you watch the news.
Okay, oh, thank you, Coco. That's the you. All right, I already asked you a question, but I have a follow-up question. But like, how was 2019 for you so far?
Oh,
Relax. I had a long day, Coco. Don't judge me, okay?
Nobody's judging
Never.
you.
Laney,
Honey God.
shut up.
2019 has been great. And I feel like just because, like, I'm mentally at a place where I'm just like, I'm just taking it one day at a time. And like, even if I have a real shitty week, I'm just like, but look how far I've come from like where I was before. So like, there's really like, I just been real happy. I just got a new apartment. That commercial I was talking about finally came out. Like a lot of good things happened. Unfortunately this year, my grandma passed away. And like for anybody who knows me, my grandma was like, it's my babe. Yeah. Like, we had the same birthday and everything. And my birthday was on the 9th of this month. So, thank you.
To both of y'all.
Yeah. It was hard celebrating without her, for real. Like, my whole life we've been celebrating together. So, but honestly, like, it's still been a good year. You know what I mean? I'm happy that she's at peace. And, I'm just really looking forward to keep doing what I'm doing and still appreciating the present and everything I have. My
follow-up question was like Coco mentioned like the media and the news and stuff like that. Like, do you see certain articles and just certain headlines and like how does that affect your psyche? Because like I've seen certain things that have literally stopped me from going to the gym. So I was curious, maybe for someone who's also equally dedicated to the gym, like do you see certain things that affect your psyche and you be like, yo, I can't even work out today. I just want to go and lay down and get my mind right?
No, I say this because, okay, well, one, I do not watch the news. I watch it casually in passing sometimes, and I read, like, articles here and there. So I try not to watch too much because, like, the graph is kind of that does give me a little bit of anxiety, I will say. I used to, like, my grandma, you used to watch it, like, every day and I get home. I don't want to see it, now. Yeah. But I feel like it is still important, though, to keep up with current events. You need to know what's going on. Yeah. Especially when we have, like, elections and things like that. You need to understand what's going on.
Election time now. Yeah. Shit is coming out for
but
reasons.
Like, okay, so our following is growing, but we're not obviously as large as you are. So, like, you don't feel, like, a certain responsibility to, like, I guess, share your opinion on these things because some of your fans might be unaware this is even going on. So, like, do you feel like a certain responsibility to share your opinion and tune in and be aware of these things? Because there's so much going on.
Like, do you feel the need to go blue because everything that happened in Sudan, or do you just keep your profile pic the same?
Okay.
Shots, yes.
That's just stressing me out.
Okay. So, I'm going to be quite frank with y'all.
Be honest.
So, one, I do feel responsibility to talk about certain things, but I want to keep it to things that I feel are important to talk about. So, like, I can't cover every news article that's going circulating. You know what I mean? Like, I can't. Obviously, yeah, you know what I mean?
You can't be on top of every cause because every day there's a new cause.
Yeah. So, for example, like, you guys brought up, for example, changing my icon blue for Sudan. I have, I've shared what I know about it with people. I've retweeted things. I've, like, had conversations with people about it. I haven't turned my icon blue because, personally, to me, I'm like, yes, it's. I think we've raised enough awareness. But now we got it. Yeah, now we got to do something.
Y'all just doing it for
something
clout.
Has to be done. You. And but that isn't shade to people who turned it blue because maybe
that's all they can do.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
We can't fault them for that.
That's not though. Like, I'm shading everybody who turned their fucking account.
Well, no, because wait, because now we just
everyone matters, yo. Like,
wait, but now we just talked about taking on every cause and like how you can't. So for some people, they can't take on Sudan. All they can do is turn that icon blue.
Hold up, but like, wait, what do you mean they can't? Like, they can tweet about it, they can spread awareness. Yeah. Like, everyone has a different amount of followers.
But remember, the blue icon is how they're spreading the awareness.
Yeah. But even then, like, going further than that, like, you could post about it, like, you can like do your research and then
listen,
inform
Ned Starks.
Like, excuse me?
Okay, Ned Starks. Because, your loyalty and your integrity may be the death of you sometimes. And I always tell you that.
We're never going to make it because of me. We're
never going to make it because you just said that shit, okay? That's why we're not.
I didn't mean put it in a humorous like that, but like.
Shit against yourself.
But like, it's just like.
But I want, listen, the whole thing with these things, with these campaigns of awareness, and you want to do things, and you want to help people. Right. I understand that. We, as a community, as a nation, we should help everybody. that's the given. As a human person, the whole purpose of us on this earth is to help, to do your journey.
Some people's purpose.
No, everybody's purpose.
If there wasn't a purpose to help, you would be
Some
alone.
people don't give a fuck about other people.
But
that's true, but we're not talking about them
but
here.
That's also them helping you to give a fuck about yourself. The people who do you dirty and treat you mean, that's a way to help you to do better and see better.
Right.
That's a little God's test. I always tell people, God be up there laughing all his ass off all day. Like, if I was God, like, what else do... Him, her, the air.
I'm just saying, like, my God is a woman.
A crystal, your
Black
God is a
woman.
woman.
All right.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Hey, shout out to Jeff because he's out here laying it, girl.
I'm just saying.
He fishing right now. He's
that's right. Put that reel out there. That's right.
I'm being dead ass.
God is a black woman. I'm all for that. You ever saw the movie Dogma? I hate to go off topic when
you hate to go off topic, but you're going off topic. I do all the time.
You ever saw Dogma?
No, I never seen that.
Watch Dogma and then come back to me with God's a black woman.
Next week, I got you.
But it just goes back to the whole thing, like, we can't do everything for everybody. And it's just like we're going to these, as Americans, we care for these other countries, but it's just like, one, every country right now is laughing at us because we are the butt of the joke of the whole world. And two, our own backyard is filthy.
I feel like we shouldn't say shit like that though, because like I feel
like
because like
is filthy.
Every
country backyard is filthy. Like, everybody has a filthy backyard. Like, Africa is I'm sure it's the filthiest of the filthiest because they just sell their people out like nobody's business. The government's corrupt. But we have our own corrupt government.
Got it. I'm not talking about the government. I'm talking about awareness. So,
but that's where do you think the awareness come from? The government has to approve the awareness.
Fam, let me say this.
You think this shit come out because they want it to come out? No, they want you to see it.
Fam.
And you should always question that.
All right, so
just imagine what they don't want you to see.
Exactly. Imagine the shit that don't come out.
Yo, so you're not following like Hank11129 on Twitter, right? But he may be aware of certain information that his followers might not be aware to. So him tweeting about that and just expressing his opinion on that isn't just as important as us talking about it on this podcast. Like everyone has a following. Everyone has people in their circle that aren't aware of something that's going on in the world. So I feel like everyone has a responsibility as a human being, as someone who gives a fuck about what's going on, should talk about what's going on talk about what's going on with the people that are in their circle directly. Because I feel like there's at least one person in their circle that doesn't know, isn't aware, that doesn't get it.
But not everybody thinks like that.
And you can't take on every cause.
And not talking about
going back to the original point.
Yes. You can't take on every cause.
But
I've been telling y'all for years now. Like, we are secretly in war, but the government's not going to tell you that.
World War III is coming soon. Maybe I give a fuck too much, but I just feel like everyone's voice
World War III
matters.
Is now, baby.
What do you mean?
It's happening now.
You think what is it?
The World War III is happening right now. It's happening.
I know some shit's going on with Iran and shit like that. But
and why do you think all these things are happening? Because they don't. Yeah. Because last time I said something about that community, my mic almost got shut down, so I'm gonna keep it real quiet about that community. But they run the world, and that's why the whole Iran thing is happening, because their bank is not in Iran.
All I'm saying is, if you have a voice, fucking use it. Like, I'm a nobody, like, in comparison to certain people, right? So, like, I created this podcast, and I use my...
But you know how crazy... And I don't mean to cut you off, but, you said you have a voice, you have to use it. There are a lot of people who have a voice, and they use it every day, and people just say they're crazy.
Word.
Because it just sounds like a big conspiracy theory, because there's a lot of people who are not ready to face the truth.
Yeah.
Like, this is the thing. If you're not ready to really face the truth, then what are we doing?
But like,
we all have
it has to still be tweeted. It has to still be written down. So it has to be fucking an article. So it has to be said. It still has to be popularized. And like, I feel like people like.
This is the great era of technology. Social media has everything fucked up. Perception is out of warp, whack. Like, everybody is twisted in reality. Nobody really knows how to think, how to move on no more, unless social media tells them. I remember loving Fendi for years. Now all of a sudden, Fendi's back on the market. I don't even want to wear my Fendi bag no more. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I remember dating a girl. I showed her the LV combat boots. I was like, oh, bitch, I love these boots. She was like, this is ugly. 2 years later, because fashion comes in season. So would you see? 2 years later, like last summer, she said, "Oh, babe, I love these." I wanted to curse her out so bad, because it's just like, you love them now because the public telling you to love them. But before that, you never had an opinion about it.
All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, everyone with a large amount of followers and then, like, a lot of attention on them should be aware of what's going on. At least one topic, because there's certain people in a portion of the country that just don't get it, and they don't understand.
Ain't gonna get it no matter how much you advertise about it.
They need to hear it from someone like a woman of color.
Just because they hear it does not mean that's gonna change their mind. then.
But you never know. But like you never know if like
So keep
they
trying.
might not understand, but they need to hear it. They can't ignore
They
it any
not
longer.
listen. You think they don't hear the shit?
You don't
They
think there's
not
someone
li-
in
they
Wisconsin
tuning the
following
shit
her?
out.
You don't think there's someone in Wisconsin
But
fucking
Don't
with
even
a
talk
shotgun
about
on his lap?
Let me not even talk about this Wisconsin. Shout out to our friends in fucking
What's
Wisconsin.
going on in Wisconsin?
But there's
What the fuck is going on in the world? See, like
in
I need to know
Nebraska?
this information.
Yo.
Like someone needs to like be
There's
spreading.
dumb racists out there. You think they don't
Really?
know? You think they don't know? They tune that shit out. They
Coco
change the
has
channel.
stories because Coco used to do road trips. She has stories about driving from state to states about the racism she has endured.
Coco, what the
Coco has
fuck?
made me scared to hop in a
You
car.
need to know, yo.
and
They
drive
Next
from
episode-
New York to Florida.
Some
People
get
straight
out
don't
shit.
care.
Yeah, I'm dead
Yo,
ass. Like, I
fuck
will
the
not
guest.
do it.
Next episode, Coco, we interviewing you. Fuck that. I need some
don't.
stories.
You'll be sober by then. You won't remember this shit.
You think I won't remember? I'm gonna write it
positive.
down.
All right.
But no, seriously, I don't feel as an influencer you have an obligated right to change people's mind about the world. I feel like you can be a
do.
role model.
Hush you.
You can
take
be
that
a
fucking
role
Henny from me.
model and help those, but I don't feel like it's your job and sole right to inform people about certain things.
It's not her job. It's not what she should focus on getting her money on.
No, but
I feel like
this is a what's that?
whatever, yo.
I hate this nigga right now.
Now he want to shut
This
it all
is for
down
real,
now.
like.
Yo, I'm speaking from a place of integrity
No, I
and
know,
like
and I said,
love.
Always- you
like-
said that
always
Ned
do,
Stark, and
yes,
Ned
we
Stark
get it.
got his head chopped off trying to be
Yeah.
integrity, all that. Said the lie and everything. His head still was.
And what did that get him? His head
I'm
off his
dead.
body. He
I'm
can't help
dead.
nobody now.
I'm
I'm
dead.
glad we have some Game of Thrones fans in here.
Yeah.
Fuck last season of Game of Thrones.
You know, I didn't even watch
Listen.
the last season, but anyway,
Read the books, all right, people?
I understand you. People do. If you're that poppin', you have like a 13,000 followers, you do have a certain obligation to spread awareness,
Yes.
but not your opinion on awareness. Just your awareness. Like, hey, this is going on. That's it.
Are we crazy to you? Like, do you,
No,
anything
I
we're
think
saying?
this is a good conversation to have. I think it's really important, and I stand by my opinion though. Still, that like you can take on but so many causes, and like a repost is always great to help. But I do think even something as simple as just changing your icon can bring awareness. Because before they're like, oh, what is this blue? What's happening? Why are people changing it?
Yeah.
So that's what forced people to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Me.
I didn't change it. I didn't change mine to blue. So I'm speaking from just a different perspective. But
Right.
I see why, if that makes sense.
Right. And it's like, I'm sorry, I'm looking for it. There's this dude, I saw it. This happened last year, but I saw a CNN article. I don't even know what to get into it.
What
What?
happened?
No,
Don't
it's just
start
like,
it and
it's just
stop.
like, it's
What happened
just.
to CNN? What article was this? My mom loves CNN.
His name is Everett.
Breaking news.
His name is
Old black
Everett
people.
Palmer Jr. and he was in police custody in 2018.
Oh, and was that in PA?
Yeah.
Okay, that story. I just saw that on New York One.
No, but
little
why
while ago.
why am I just seeing this in 2019?
No, yeah.
Like, and it
What
happened
was
in
the
2018.
story?
So he was an army vet or something like that, and
Fitness trainer.
Oh.
shit.
Wait, is this the guy who came back without his heart and his brain or something?
Yes, the fitness trainer who was in PA or something like that.
Yeah, and then his body was
Family's
sent to his
in
family
Queens,
without a
With-
throat,
yeah.
heart, and his brain was missing.
His brain was
And then it's
missing.
just like,
They saying he banged his head in the jail so that he went crazy while he was
They sold his organs, I feel
They
like.
did. I really
So they
feel that
can't do
way.
an
Black
autopsy.
market shit. Like I talked about this like a few episodes ago. Like that's just real. But like, it's like why is certain information like that like getting to me late, like a year later?
Because
you know
that's
what
what they want.
That's exactly how they
I
intended
get
it.
But like, even when we get that information, I feel like certain people with large followings, regardless of what you're trying to sell, if you're trying to make money, how selfish you are, like you need to. If you find out this information, you need to spread that shit to your followers because there's certain people who are following you that don't even know. Like there's certain people who are like. Let's just say it. White people, like they're just so in their bubble, they don't even know. Like they don't fucking know.
But
A
this
lot
is
of them
why
know
I
and
feel
don't
like they
care.
just need to like they need awareness.
I
Like
praise you because you are that man of integrity and you want to spread awareness. But again, you cannot hold that same accountability to other people.
don't let me get a large following because y'all knowing everything. Because like shit
But
ain't
yeah, I
going
can't
through
speak
the
on
cracks.
that.
He gonna be the
But
CNN.
No, I swear to
can
God,
speak
like-
on that one certain community, right?
Like we got listeners in fucking Mumbai, we got fucking listeners all over the world. Like y'all don't understand directly what's going on in America, but it's just fucked up. So like, just
But
do your
who-
research,
who
yo.
runs the world?
Girls?
No,
Oh, sorry.
Who runs the world in your opinion?
the Jewish.
The Jewish?
The Jewish.
The fucking niggas who will go crazy when you drop a penny on the ground and they want to add it to
So
the
you know,
bank account.
last time I said something about them, I might got
the
cut
henny
off,
away
so
from
whatever.
his ass. God damn
Was
it.
that racist? Was that like crazy?
Did you just say something negative about them?
But I'm saying negative shit
Who
all the
coughed?
time. I don't care.
Who coughed?
I'm problematic. And I feel so bad for saying that because it's your episode. This episode's
Nah.
dedicated to
This
you.
is why we don't allow him to have Hennessy.
But y'all have me yo, I just don't care. Like, I don't know. I
Henny
care.
God.
No,
I
you
give a
care.
fuck.
The
I
thing
give
is,
a
you
fuck.
care, and you care a lot. You care tremendously, and I always tell you, sometimes you have to categorize your care. Put that shit in a box. You gotta know when
Never.
to care. When. Okay, Jesus. You know, people.
Okay, Jesus.
That's what Jesus told me. Shut the fuck up. I was like, right, you got it, G.
I care too much about my people and just the world. Like,
But you know what? I need your people to start caring about themselves, and that's because I care about my people too. I care about us so much that sometimes it gets to the point where you do get frustrated. I used to be just like you, Jeff, frustrated every day because my people was doing the dumbest shit, and then you have to realize sometimes there has to be that balance. You cannot have ignorant without smart. Like, you have to have all of that to make the world go fucking
That's
round.
what I'm saying. Like,
I understand that you want everybody to be aware and smart and ready to go, but
don't work
in
like
reality, it cannot. It's not gonna work
that.
like
It won't
that.
exist. It can't coexist like that.
The world will crumble. Like, I feel like really and truly, if everybody was on the same path and on this righteous, loving, shit, the world would be like the most boringest motherfucking place to live.
Fuck it, be safe.
Like, you need that. You need that, because I always tell you, without real evil, how do you know how good you are? You're not gonna know.
That's the balance.
Like, that's the test. That's the balance. Like, you have to. You're tested every day.
Yeah.
So I know people who be like, "Oh, I want to help the homeless," and the homeless person come up to them.
Yeah.
I ain't got no money. I ain't got no dollar. But I thought you want to help the homeless. I thought you want your people.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a drunk. He's an alcoholic. He's a drug addict. Yo, the Bible clearly says, "Ask and you shall receive." I hate when somebody like, I told you before, the lady who was homeless. I said, "Baby, you hungry?" "Yeah, I want a fish sandwich, Sprite, large fries, supersize everything." I'm like, "Bitch, the fuck? I got $10. You about to take more?" But she asked for what she wanted.
Heard you. Yeah. We kind of like detracted from our guest a bit. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. This is
I just got mad passionate. It's nuts out here, and
she's got to come back for part 2.
She will come, hopefully. But I was just curious, what is some advice that you would give to some people maybe looking into getting to working out? Maybe they're not used to it, or just trying to grow a following in general, like just creatives in general, like people trying to create a new body, trying to create a new following. Like, what are some advice that you would give based off your personal experience to those people?
Okay, so the 3 things that I usually tell people is like, okay, for one, start getting some sleep. You need 6 to 8 hours sleep every night, okay? And it's 6 hard. Is pushing it, all right? Hard. You want to try to get 8. I know it's hard, especially we live in New York, where like to live in a studio apartment, you need to have like 2 jobs, okay? Like, I know it's hard, but it's so important. And you don't realize how far it can take you sometimes. Even I do, sometimes like sleep is just so important. And it's the best fat burner.
Great.
Noted. Yeah, sleep is the best fat burner.
So I can eat before sleep and be fine.
Yeah, but you want to still give it 45 minutes technically because like it's all
don't
about
go straight
digestion.
to sleep.
Yeah. But
sleep is my hardest thing, honestly.
And then the second thing is water. I know that it's been getting back up there. More people becoming aware of that. But stay hydrated. Sometimes you don't realize you're going throughout the day. Your head starts hurting. You're like, what's going on? You weren't drinking water.
Especially if you like to drink and whatnot.
She drinks her water.
Yeah, and also if you eat a lot of fruit, you can lower your water intake. Just a fun fact, because fruit contains a lot of water, so you don't have to have as much water. I mean, you still want to be having a lot of water, but it helps. And then the last one is you don't have to do daily exercise, but just do a little something every day. Like we live in, for me, example, or us, we live in New York. A lot of stairs. There's a subway. I like to skip steps when I'm going up. That helps me keep my legs toned. Seriously.
I get my little booty.
Yeah, just flexing when you can. Like sometimes, like if I'm going up a hill, I'm like holding it in my stomach. Like, okay, I'm just gonna, you know what I mean? Like,
but those little things, you get into the habit of them, right? And then you keep doing it.
Exactly.
So it makes
sense. Just practice finding healthy habits to fit your lifestyle is just really, really important. Yeah, it's really, those are 3 things. So sleep, water, and just healthy daily movements. Just getting your body to move, and don't live a completely sedentary lifestyle, really.
By the way, if you work a 9 to 5 or 8-hour shift like I do, like full-time job, like, and a gallon of water a day is nothing. So I feel like most of the time you're concerned about like if your boss is checking you or not, if you're going up to the bathroom every 5 seconds, if you're not working or not. I'm taking a gallon of water, almost 2 every day, and it's easy for me because like I'm a bit concerned about like if people are watching me or not. So like I just.
Well, you're paranoid, so.
I'm super. Why you gotta just throw me under the bus? Like, why? But like, yeah, like, but seriously, like, if you're worried about that shit, like, you're worried about your boss watching you, like, if you have like a normal sized bottle of water and you're worried about like them watching you going to filling it up every 15 seconds or whatever. So just bring a gallon of water, drink that shit, 8 hours a day, like, you'll be good. Like, it's
a lot of little things help.
Yeah.
You work a 9 to 5 or whatever, like 8-hour shifts.
And I always go to the restroom and take my little break or whatever, not terribly long, but I'll do my like lunges and like I do my push-ups, my girl push-ups against the bathroom sink.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
See, so you gotta get it in those little moments. So
I always take the stairs like after lunch, especially, so I don't let the itis settle in because I always feel like taking a nap after I eat, even if I eat healthy lunch. I'm older, so I feel like taking a nap.
Yeah.
But I walk a lot. Different things.
I genuinely love the fact that I learned something new about everyone of you, like everyone on this show, every episode. I do fucking pull-ups and shit like on my break, and I do push-ups and I do a little bit of like walking around the parking lot and shit.
Yeah. See,
that's crazy. Like it's like once you get into like the mold of like working out and like being fit, like I feel like a lot of. Would you agree? Like maybe people fear like or think about too much like the first workout. Like they think about like getting into it first.
Yeah.
And but once you get into that mold, it's like simple. It's like habit.
I feel like I feel like some people have a problem with habit, if anything. Like they can do that first one, but then it's the consistency that there lies the issue. It's like they have a problem keeping up with it.
How did you remain consistent early on in your working out days? Like,
well, at first I had no choice. So like I just had to be there at the track every Tuesday and Thursday. Or else I get my ass beat. So like it's really
your
like
ass beat? Wait, who?
Yeah, no, because when I started, my dad was my coach. So for track.
Would he ground you or like?
No, like he was just like, oh, okay, what was one of my punishments? Like I had to do like a wall sit while he like hit my hands with like a studded belt. Yeah.
That's painful.
Yeah, like it was intense. Yeah,
crazy.
Okay. So like I said, I had no choice. But what keeps me consistent now that I don't have like that parental figure, to like kind of like I think it's just
you're the parental figure now to your clients.
Yeah, so it's really just like you said, I guess I just kind of fell into a habit and just understanding the importance of what I do. Yeah. And just understanding how it's going to benefit my body. I saw my grandma get sick over the years and she wasn't she took so many medications, for the problems she had, just understanding like how health can affect you and just really doing your research. And I think that'll help you keep consistent is if you know the value of what you're doing, maybe. I think that's what helped me stay consistent.
This is your manager right here in the corner?
Yes, Quay.
How did your manager come into the play? Like, when did you reach a certain amount of followers where you feel like, yo, like I need a manager to keep this together?
My manager's like low-key dope. She's been over there like agreeing with us the whole time.
Yo, do you like us, manager? Oh, shit, we got the manager's approval.
Manager.
Like, but when did your manager come into the play?
Oh, yeah, friends? Like, how does this relationship happen?
So we were friends first, and I had worked with like a few, like I tried like having an assistant, but that wasn't really what I needed. And then I saw what Quay was doing like with other people and just how she just does for herself and like how she manages things. And like she's not afraid to say what she thinks, but she knows how to say it in the right way. And I just really appreciated that, especially, and she's also a Black woman just out here doing her shit. Yeah. So like, so I was like, please help. And she's been great ever since. Like I've definitely gotten more work with her and just like, it's just great having someone on your team who's really on your team. You know what I mean?
Like, it matters.
Yeah.
Thanks, Were you childhood friends? Did you go to college together or just like, y'all just happened to meet? It was like...
one of my friends I think it was Ziggy. Yeah, it was like one of my friends from like high school. We didn't go to the same high school, but we've known each other since high school. They met and they were friends, and then he was already my friend, and then we just kind of all linked up. And
yeah.
So dope.
Yeah, we have a really nice group, New Idols.
The power of networking. People, you just need to go out there and network. Yeah. Never be afraid to network.
Are we officially like new members of Cleopatra's Army? Can we
just
join?
I'm not working.
I think we need to go to a class first before we claim to be part of an army.
I will definitely go to one of your classes.
Okay.
But it's funny because this past 2 weeks I kept telling myself like, because I'm not working right now of choice.
Mm-hmm.
And
you were creative and all that.
You know, I just want to be out here to be a thug. You know
what I mean?
Be a thug in the hoe, whoever.
I'm gonna get you some money soon.
And
this podcast.
Shut up.
No, it's really soon. It's really soon, like bro.
I was telling myself the past 2 weeks, like, Kalina, once you put the little boy in the bus, take a shower, like work out, eat breakfast, like you got this. And I'm serious. I would just like put him on the bus, bye, tell my dog like get upstairs, smoke a blunt, lay back down, probably rub one out, go to sleep. Like 12:30, and then start my day. Like, how do people like me get motivated to like do a crunch? And to me, like me working out, like, so I'm a very I'm spiritual. I do readings and everything on the side. So every day I have to meditate, and sometimes I like to dance with my ancestors. So to me, that's me working out, like my little dance with my ancestors and everything.
That's good.
And I focus on my core and my butt. But that's it.
Yeah. Well,
so like, what else can I do though? Like
than nothing.
Everything, bruh. You can do everything.
But I think it helps.
Like, how do like is the best way for somebody like me to be motivated to stay up and not take that second nap, or
well, you can take naps. Depends on how long those naps.
I mean, I get up at 6 to put him on the bus. He's on the bus about 6:45, 7 o'clock. I'm sleeping till like 1 o'clock.
Okay, yeah, no, that's not a nap. You're going back to sleep. So, one thing that helps is like, so the areas you frequent in your house, put little reminders there. So like Post-it notes really help me at first.
When I wake up, the first thing that hits me up that says, if it says, is it 7 a.m.? Did you shower? Go get ready for the day.
Yeah, see, but you gotta add that in. Do a little workout. You know what I mean? Like, you have to, the same ways you stay consistent for other things, you just have to fit it in. So like, the way you know how to do your hair, like, you know what I mean? Just throw that in, like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do this little thing with my arms. You know what I mean? Like,
so yeah, but if I braid my own hair, then I did my arm workout for the day.
Yeah, that's true.
When you natural, combing your hair is a workout.
I feel like people got to realize, like, you don't have to do like a whole hour workout. You don't have to do like a whole 2-hour workout. You could do 30 minutes of cardio and you'd be good
20,
for
30
like
minutes.
Even 7 minutes a day, right?
Like, I mean, I work out twice a day, so like I do like a full hour and a half workout. I do 30 minutes of cardio. Like, that's enough. That's good. Like, you could do 30 minutes of cardio and you'd be. I mean, you're a professional. I'm just.
No. It's true.
Myth or fact?
You could just do that.
Food or working out? Like, what's the most damage to your body? Is it the food or the fact that we don't move?
I think I feel like it's a very equal amount, because if you're not eating right but you're doing the workouts, okay. But if you're eating right and you're not doing any movement, you're just sitting down most of your day, it's like, it's still okay. Like, you know what I mean? You need a little bit of both. Like you said before, moderation. You need a little bit of both. It's so important. And
you've gained a following, like, whether it be from your looks, your workouts, like, personally, do you feel like you've reached your fitness goals, or are you still achieving them?
Oh, I'm still achieving them. I feel like they're never going to end, for real. And especially with the career I want to go into, I feel like there's always going to be some new task. There's I really want to get into, okay, so 2 things I want to do. I want to be able to do like a walking handstand, and which I need to work on my back muscles more for right now. It's just sharing. And then I also would love to be able to do like a lot more jump kicks. So when I was telling you guys about Kung Fu and Muay Thai, I've always been a really good kicker. My legs have a lot of the power in my body for the most part, which is common in women. Yeah. So I want to be able to do like those flying kicks, you know what I mean? Like that you see in like the Kung Fu movies. So yeah. So like I feel like my goals are just never going to, there's always going to be that one thing I want to push my limit to, you know, kicks.
And I feel like some people, I'm speaking for myself actually right now. Like, I feel like I constantly look at myself after each workout, like, yeah, like it's cool. Like you got the veins in your arms, you got the veins in your shoulders, but like you're not exactly where you want to be. And I feel like I psych myself out sometimes. So like, what would you say to those people who have a good workout each week, but like they don't see themselves as like fit yet? Like, what advice would you give them who are being consistent, but like they don't see themselves as fit yet?
Well, okay, so one thing like I said before, you always got to think about, look at where you've come from. Because if you're doing 3 workouts a week, you're going to see the difference in 2 weeks, like off the back. Like if you're doing consistent workouts 3 days a week, you're already going to see it. You know what I mean? Even if it's like little thing.
2 weeks?
Yeah, you like if you stay consistent with your workout, it's people don't understand how quick you'll see the results, but you also got to understand how quick it can go away if you don't keep that consistency.
Definitely,
right?
That's true.
So, when you do more body weight movements, it lasts longer. When you do weightlifting, it disappears a little faster.
I feel like,
for real?
And there's nothing to say you actually have to work out in the day. Like if you're I'm a night owl, and there'll be times where I'll take my little weights and I'll be watching something on my Fire Stick, and I'll just sit there and I'll do my curls, I'll do my lunges or whatever it is. And even if it's whatever it is, if you don't just build up to it, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then keep going from there. And positive self-talk matters too.
You just mentioned something that's really important. For you TV watchers, I don't know, people, even Netflix, like during those little commercial breaks or whatever it is, like just sit. I used to do sit and do V holds. It's like this thing where you sit and like lift your legs up and whatever, and just sit there during the entire commercial break. That was how I trained myself. Or like sit and hold the squat until like the show came back on. Like just getting it in whenever you can. You really have to just think about little ways to do it. It makes your life 10 times easier.
You like
she just gave tips for the summer body 101. Let's go, guys.
Yeah.
Yo, I work out like 5 days a week. I don't be giving the listeners some advice on working out. I don't do that.
You probably should start doing that.
I should start doing that.
Yeah.
I work hard for this. You know what I mean?
I didn't know Jeff was buff till one day I was trying to download a video. I'm like, what the fuck? Muscle t-shirt. I'm just like, I don't know, nigga. Like,
yo, that's 5 years of dedication and protein shakes.
All right. Ladies, see him tomorrow at...
Stop it. Don't... No. Oh, wait.
The event. She's trying to promote the event. Yes.
Tomorrow.
But see them guns in person, ladies.
Come buy me drinks all night.
This episode will be out by the time the event will already have passed.
I know. That's true.
But press
well, our event went fabulous.
Our event, we're in the future right now. Our event was popping. We invited mad people.
Everybody came out.
The open bar was lit.
If you weren't there, you missed the fuck
invited.
out.
Of course you're invited.
After podcast talk. Okay. Did you ever think about like your legacy? Like what you want to be remembered for after you're gone? And what is that exactly?
Every day. I would love to be remembered for... okay.
Yeah.
One, for being self-made, like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't come from a family of wealth. You know, I did come from
have the Kylie Jenner.
Yeah. I came from of course, don't get me wrong, I came from a proud family of successful people, but it's not like I had like continuous generational wealth. You know what I mean? I want to be remembered for being self-made. I want to be remembered for just, accepting myself for who I am and showing that to other people. I want people to understand like self-love, that I love myself in the best way I could and the best way I knew how. And then I also want to be remembered for...
Can you say that again for the people in the back?
I love myself in the best way I could and the best way I knew how.
That's right.
And also just to be known for just also giving back and just like, not even giving back but giving out. You know what I mean? Like some people who don't even owe me shit, just like just taking care of others with what I have and inspiring people to take care of others. It's really what I want to be remembered for. And I just, I want my family in the future and my grandkids and their grandkids,
to have that generational wealth and legacy. That's what's up.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
For real.
People don't think that far ahead. Especially at 23, I was on some fuck shit.
23, I was like living life. Listen, okay?
Sheesh.
Should have got married back then. I'd be okay right now.
We have 2 segments on this podcast. One is tied into a question. You have a large following, obviously, so you can reach certain individuals that you want to work with and possibly work out with. But let's say tomorrow, or let's say after this episode drops, you get that blue check, that extra validation, that extra stamp to your resume, and you have access to pretty much anyone you want. Is there anyone in particular that you would want to have a workout with?
Besides Serena.
Besides Serena. Okay, you know what's crazy? I just found out today I am going to get like a session with someone I've been like wanting to work out with. So I worked out with this trainer once already. His name is Don Saladino, and he's responsible for like Ryan Reynolds' like superhero body, like Deadpool, all stuff. He's responsible for so many superhero bodies. Like, what's his name? Oh my gosh, I love this guy. Wolverine. I can't remember his name.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Yeah, he's trained Hugh Jackman. He's trained Blake Lively. Like so many celebs, and they're like awesome movie bodies. So like, so I found out today that he's like. So I worked out with him once in the group, and I was like expressing my interest and how he had like one of my dream jobs and like how like I'd love to like. try one of his internship programs. Program turned out to be full, so I, reached out to him, told him like I can't do it because it's full. And then he was like, "Well, don't worry, like come out to the club and we're gonna train 1-on-1."
Oh shit, that's lit.
Yeah. So, well, he was one. So then I found out that today, so I was really excited. And then,
congratulations.
Thanks. I'm trying to think if there's somebody else.
So popping. But not because you're just popping because of a general. Like you have such a great aura. You're so smart. You're young. You're black, beautiful, gifted, and talented. Like keep going. Like,
don't forget about us when you make it to the top, please.
No,
when you make it to the top, please.
This conversation was really like one of the best I've had in such a long time. It was so good. You guys were great. Like I really appreciate the questions. Like it was. I loved how honest I was able to be. I was so comfortable. Like, thanks. It was great.
We have a segment on this podcast where we share something our audience shouldn't sleep on, whether it be a certain song or a certain experience or certain
whatever
food.
It is.
And my experience of don't sleep is actually kind of gym related, actually. So my legs are actually really strong for some reason. So like I do leg workouts like really, really intensely and really, really high reps and high weights. And a guy next to me, I do the assisted squat. So like, because my back I feel like is kind of like a little risky at times. I don't want to get that pain. And a guy next to me was doing assisted squat right next to me. And I was doing more than him, but I noticed him keep going up as I kept going up, but I was doing more than him each time. And during one set, I was doing very, very high weight. I can't remember the exact weight, but I was doing more than him. And he tried to like match my weight, and he ended up blowing his knee out. And I wanted to get, my don't sleep is basically don't sleep on your ego, right? Don't let your ego control you. Don't let your fucking expectations of what you think you can do control you, because you can't do it. Just be real with yourself. If you feel like you can't do as much weight as you think you can, don't do it, because you're gonna end up injuring yourself and you end up fucking yourself up as much as this guy did. And
take it slow, guys.
Fam,
take it slow.
You can't squat more than me. It's cool. Like you don't have to look at me each fucking set that I do. So just be real with yourself and don't sleep on your ego, because it can injure you, it could kill you, it could fucking ruin the trajectory of your life. So shout out to that guy. Shout out to that guy. His knee is blown out. And you earned that, bro, because like you don't try to keep up to me because you can't compete with me. And
petty podcast.
That's
he said it.
That's cockiness, that's pettiness, and that's facts. So just be real with yourself. Lainey, Coco, what is something people shouldn't sleep on?
Do not sleep on your spirituality and your conversations you have with God. I feel like this week has been such a very energy-filled week that a lot of people have been like depressed, sad. It's just been a really cloudy week. And tomorrow, thankfully, summer solace will give you some relief. So, do not sleep on just sitting down and talking to God, because I feel like I meet so many people who come to me with their problems, and I always ask them, like, well, did you have a conversation with God today? And a lot of people do not pray anymore. So, like, do not sleep on the power of prayer. Like, prayer does not happen when you want it to happen. Like, you just sit down and pray, and you're not going to get an immediate answer if you're not looking for it. But do not sleep on the power of prayer. Like, prayer is there for a reason. God is here for a reason. I'm not the most religious person, but I'm the most spiritual person. And God is here. God is real. And just, like, do not sleep on that power. And believe in yourself and know that God is here to help you in everything that you do.
Coco, do you have anything people shouldn't sleep on this week?
I would say don't ever sleep on something I mentioned before that we were talking about before, positive self-talk. A lot of times we'll say things that wind up canceling out exactly what it is that we want.
Shots. Bang, bang.
The words that we use are powerful. You're literally casting spells against yourself when you say things negative, when you're trying to really bring out the positive in yourself. So I would definitely say don't sleep on positive self-talk.
You're talking to me
it matters.
right now, and I'm working on it. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. Ma'am, our guest, would you have anything people shouldn't sleep on, whether it be your
besides you?
Yeah, besides you, because you're awesome, and I definitely want to have you back if we can.
For the battle of the sexes.
Ooh. Super cliche, but don't sleep on your health, especially in a country where we don't have free healthcare. So get it together, guys. Just think about what you're putting into your body, what's coming out of it, what's going on it. Like, just really consider how you're taking care of your body, because it's the only one you got. You're not going to get another one this lifetime. And, you should love it like you love material things. That's really what it is.
That's what's up.
Hopefully you enjoyed yourself.
I did.
Thank you so much
I did.
for coming.
Thank you guys for having me. It was great.
You're awesome, and I definitely want to work out with you one day if I can.
Yes.
Please shout out where people can find you.
Where can we find your classes?
All of us will be there, and our co-host who's not here right now.
I'm showing up with a blunt in my hand.
Shut up. Please shout out where people can find you and follow you and whatever.
Okay, so you can follow me at the Cleopatra Lee. My website is thecleopatralee.com or cleopatrasarmy.com, and also at Cleopatra's Army. You can find me in both places. Thanks you guys for having me. It was great.
Shout out to you. Shout out to your manager.
Shout out to management.
Shout out to the manager. People don't shout out the managers too often.
Yes.
But she's just been saying that
the team behind the team.
Yes, Quay. Shout out to Quay. New Idols.
Can you manage us? Like, how do we sign up for that?
Her plate is full, guys.
Oh, shit. Whatever.
But she does do firm up. When you get the firm up,
she does do consultations though. So if you do have a project or something, hit her up, Quay.
Okay, I will do.
New Idols.
If you enjoyed this podcast, wherever you're indulging at, whether it be YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, whatever rating system they have, please utilize that because that definitely gives us the confidence, and it feels good to see the feedback.
But y'all like us.
Yeah, it feels good to see the feedback. So please, whatever rating system that you're listening to this podcast on or watching this podcast on, please utilize that because it definitely helps.
And it's only gonna get way way better after episode 100.
Facts. And if you are actually interested in coming on as a guest and sharing your story, please email us at introvertedpod@yahoo.com. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
We love all the listeners. We love all the listeners, and
we appreciate you.
Fuck, it feels good to know people are listening. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.